Golden State. ESPN NBA senior writer Brian Windhorst on the fit for LeBron if he was to sign with the Warriors.
I don't think that they're a favorite or anything in the West, but I would love to see it. But it's not going to be a disaster either. Of course not. There's no chance of it being a disaster. It would be wonderful to see. They're not going to be in last place or anything like that. So I know it's not a hot take, but I don't think it's a dream team or a disaster. I think it's something very enjoyable to work your way through the doldrums of a regular season while we wait for the best teams to play in the postseason.
Brian Windhorst on First Take. Yannick Sinner joins Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer as the only players to beat Novak Djokovic 3 times in straight sets at a major. Sinner with a straight sets win today to advance to his second straight Wimbledon final. He will face Alexander Zverev on Sunday on ESPN.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Monday, the ESPN Radio Rankem Series continues. I'll tell you who I think the top 5 breakout stars will be in the NFL this season. It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6. Right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
Off and running, welcome in. After further review here on a Friday, of course, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Musso in for Moscona. We got Luke Foster, we got Paul O'Neill, and we got all of you here as we go through 3 more hours and then send you off into your weekend fired up here for today's show. Kind of feels a little bit like a football Friday. Phil Steele, he's going to be with us here in about 14 or so minutes. Really excited to talk to Phil, of course. The magazine is out. The magazine is glorious, and we'll get all of Phil's thoughts on each of the Power 4 conferences, on LSU, on Ole Miss, on a bunch of different topics, covering it all in college football. Man, really excited for that conversation with Phil. Sam Spiegelman will be here in about an hour and a half or so. Sam had a little bit more of a write-up on both Easton Royal, Jalen Brewster, and Ahmad Hudson. Where does LSU stand with all 3 of those 5 stars? As we've kind of said it all week, when we had Shay, since we had Shay on the show Tuesday, we are on 5-star watch here right now for LSU. And Chris Marler will be our third guest. Marler's going to hop on with us in the third hour. He had some pretty he wasn't too pleased with the FPI rankings from ESPN that were released yesterday, so we'll kick that around with Marler a little bit here later on as well, man. Kylie McDaniel, new MLB mock draft, his final, and it's kind of friendly to LSU. We'll get into that a little bit later on as well. So jam-packed, ready to roll. Let's go ahead and start the show as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
All right. Y'all, it's July 10th, and I'm already sick and tired of college football talking season. I'm already sick and tired of football talking season in general. But it's where we are, and even though it can get a bad rap sometimes, I mean, look, I just sat there and said I'm over it already. Let's play some football games, right? But even though it can get a bad rap, it does sometimes lend itself to some interesting topics for debate. Throughout the week here, and even really dating back to last week when I was filling in for Scone, we've talked an awful lot about LSU football and their schedule for 2026. The majority of that talk has been centered around the difficulty of it, where, I mean, I believe LSU has a very difficult schedule. FPI, that we just mentioned, ranked it the 11th most difficult schedule in the country. Phil Steele, who's going to be with us here in the next segment, his magazine ranks LSU's schedule also in the top 15 when it comes to difficulty in the nation. You've had some people push back on that and flat out call LSU's schedule easy, which that's laughable to me. But that's been the majority of the conversation surrounding that we've had here. Well, today, I want to talk about a trip-up spot, trap game for LSU. And perusing the interwebs today, Athlon Sports, they took a stab at naming the trap game for all 12 of their college football playoff contenders. Basically, what they did was they took their projected college football playoff and went through and named a trap game for each. And I just could not disagree with theirs for LSU more. So I want to react to that and then give you mine. Because I actually think LSU's trap game this year is pretty cut and dry. But Athlon for LSU listed October 10th at Kentucky as the trap game. And I think that's wrong. I'm not saying that LSU is going to go in there and just dog walk Kentucky. That's not what I'm saying. LSU throughout their history has had many a close games at Kentucky that probably shouldn't have been. And Commonwealth has just been, or Kroger Field, whatever it's called now, has generally been a really, really difficult place for LSU to go play. I mean, Bluegrass Miracle, 2007. You got absolutely run out of the building there in 2021. Like, it's just kind of been the way that series has gone, where LSU's kind of handled their business at home against Kentucky, and they've just really struggled up there. So I can see why that's there. Okay? And in their write-up, they mentioned Lane Kiffin and the headaches that he had at Kentucky during his Ole Miss tenure. Now, it is worth noting, and they do in this piece, that Kentucky has an entirely new coaching staff. All right? I mean, they ain't Mark Stoops anymore, who gave Lane Kiffin those headaches. But the Rebels went 3-1 against Kentucky in Kiffin's time in Oxford. All 4 matchups were decided by a touchdown or less. So I can understand why they go there. It's just, for me, when I look at where Kentucky falls on the schedule, Kentucky should have LSU's full attention when they go up there. I mean, that is smack dab in the middle of October, and October is supposed to be the month where LSU is able to make some hay. You're coming off a game against McNeese the week prior. You have a game at home against Mississippi State the week after. Kentucky should have LSU's full attention, especially because you could end up with a loss by that point already as well. So full attention should be on Kentucky. Like, let's say you drop one of your 3 P4 games in September. Clemson, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. Let's say you lose one of those. Well, you're going to look at October, as we said, as that chance to really kind of get back above water, build up get healthy, build up, your strength, because your October is McNeese at Kentucky, Mississippi State at Auburn. So I just think where Kentucky falls, I think that should have your full attention, and especially given Lane Kiffin's history with them in such close games, I can't imagine that one really being the one that trips up LSU because of a trap spot. If it trips up LSU, they didn't play their best game and Kentucky beat you that day. Like that's just really how I feel about the game. And again, not to say that that's not possible, but that's just how I feel about that game. For me, I said I thought it was pretty cut and dry. And for me, it is in October, but it's at the very end of October. It's Auburn on the road in Jordan-Hare at 11 a.m. Yes, you would much rather 11 a.m. than 7 p.m. in Jordan-Hare. That is a very difficult place to play. It's haunted in a sense, and Auburn just kind of finds a way to be a headache for anybody and everybody they play at home. But let's look at where that one falls. It's at the very end of October. You're heading into your bye with that mammoth of a November staring you straight in the face. Alabama, Texas, at Tennessee, at Arkansas to close your season. And you look at the same deal where maybe you drop one of your games in September against either Clemson, Ole Miss, or A&M. You've almost made it through October, and the last hurdle you have to get past is Auburn to have everything in front of you to play for in November. To me, that screams trap game. Yes, there's a new head coach there in Alex Golish. Yes, I have questions about their offense because they've brought in 10 new starters, and a lot of them are from USF and G5 schools, and I really wonder how that's going to play in the SEC. But I'll tell you what they do have is a dynamic quarterback. Byron Brown, he's good. You make all the jokes you want about his throwing motion. That guy's a freak athlete and is going to make life difficult on SEC defenses this year just because of his sheer athleticism. And then you look at their defense, and That's actually still a really good unit. They return a lot of starters. That's where they got some Power 4 transfers as well. And Auburn had a great unit last year, and again, starters are back from that. That game kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies this year. Like, it just really does. Because if you're going in that with one loss, man, I mean, it's your last hurdle. And it's on the road, 11 a.m., sleepy on the road, against the team in Auburn that, while I don't think Auburn is going to be this juggernaut of an opponent, but I do think they're going to make life difficult for a team here and there on their schedule that maybe they shouldn't. And I think LSU might end up falling into that trap. So that would be mine. You get through that, and then you have a bye week to rest, recover, reset, and go headstrong into November. But if you drop it, it could change the entire tenor of what you're playing for in the month of November, including your margin for error. So if I'm looking at it, easy one for me, man. At Auburn, that stands out as what could be, at least preseason, before everything plays out, the biggest trap game on LSU's schedule. We'll see how it plays out. It's going to be a fun season. That's the one thing that we keep saying, right? It's going to be a fun season, and hopefully by the end of October, LSU's playing some really, really good football, man, with everything still in front of them. And maybe that won't even matter. Hopefully they'll just be undefeated by that point, and it won't cost you anything if you do happen to go on the road and drop that one. We'll see. We'll keep you posted. All right, it's after further review here on a Friday, represented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Musso in for Moscona. We'll grab a break. We'll come back on the other side. Phil Steele, he'll join the show, preview the college football season. That's next here on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Glow Resources. If you are a business owner, if you're an HR manager, a VP, an ops manager, if you're the person in charge of hiring at your job, at your place of business, and you're having trouble finding the right people, you need Glow Resources. Now, I want to remind you, Glow Resources, they're exceptional when it comes to skilled blue-collar workers and also white-collar divisions. Remember, Glow Resources has a full professional placement division. So we're talking about office administrators, executive-level assistants, assistant controllers, plant managers, scheduling assistants, basically any type of office job. Accounting, HR, marketing, managerial, supervisor roles. If you're having trouble finding those people and sometimes hard to fill roles, Glow Resources specialize. They recruit nationwide. For example, they had a Baton Rouge company that was looking for an engineer. They found the employee in Florida to work the job in California. It's Glow Resources. Check them out online today. glowresources.com.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
My name is Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
Every Raising Cane's chicken finger is marinated, battered by hand, and cooked to order to perfection. We don't have heat lamps, because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Moving along here, Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Kind of feels like a football Friday here. Although it's July, we're joined by our guy, Phil Steele. Of course, Phil Steele, College Football Preview Magazine 2026. It is out. If you haven't got your copy yet, what are you waiting for? You can't go through the preseason and the media day circuit without it. Phil's good enough to join us here as he does all throughout the football season. Phil, it is great to have you on here today in the summer, my man. How are you?
You know, I am doing great, Matt. This year there was no second transfer portal window, so the magazine process went smoother than the last couple of years. And right now, it's just radio show season for me, doing maybe 6 to 7 shows a day, working 60, 65 hours a week. It's like being on vacation right now.
That's Phil's downtime, 60 to 65 hours a week. He's the hardest working man in college football, folks, and that's why we love him. Phil, thumbing through it already here in the summer. A lot of things have caught my eye, and I'm really excited to have the conversation with you here today. I want to get to LSU, obviously, and the SEC, but I don't know how you don't start with what's just been the biggest story all summer, and Brendan Sorsby in Texas Tech. Obviously, we know now he will not play. He's going to go prepare for the NFL draft. How does that change your opinion of Texas Tech and where they might fit in the Big 12?
Zero. And I'll tell you why, Matt. The reason why is that when I wrote the magazine, right at that first week of June, and we had to send to the press, I believe it was June the 5th, I was 85% sure they're not going to let this guy play. How are you going to let a guy that gambled on his own team play in football? So when I wrote it, I listed him on the page, but in my head and in my power ratings, I had him out of the equation, and I was going with Hammond as the starter. Then they announced he's coming and playing, and I was like, oh, I have to adjust my power ratings. Then they announced he's not playing, and now I'm back to exactly where it was, my thought process on Texas Tech. And I'll be honest with you, when I went through the Big 12 and I was doing Texas Tech, I'm like, okay, if I take Sorsby out of the equation, should I move Texas Tech down? But then look at their schedule this year. Their road games are against Oregon State, Colorado, Oklahoma State, Baylor. All 4 of those teams had losing seasons last year, and Cincinnati, a team that was 7-6. They're going to be at least a touchdown favorite in every single game. Toughest games they get at home. They avoid BYU. They avoid Utah. It's a great schedule. Who do you have an underdog in this year? They are a very talented team with or without Sorsby.
Surprise team potentially in the Big 12 then. If you still have Texas Tech saying Sorsby as the favorite in that conference, surprise team that could jump up and get them?
I would have to say, if you look, as everybody right now, I just watch Big 12 Media Days. You got Texas Tech, you got BYU, you got Utah are the 3 favorites. So let's go outside that box. And I'm going to lean a little bit with TCU. So when I talked to Coach Dykes, was going over the squad with him, he really likes Jaden Craig, the transfer from Harvard. This is a guy that's 6'3", 230 pounds, great arm. In fact, he would have been a draft pick this year. He had a projected 5th rounder. Opted to come back, get in this system. If they cut down on the turnovers, they've got the defensive line and the offensive line to get there. I think TCU could be a surprise team this year. Remember, just a few years ago, They were 13-2 and playing in a national title game. In fact, Coach Dykes, they're coming off a pair of 9-4 seasons. He felt both seasons disappointing, so he wants to get back to where he was.
Let's switch to the SEC, Phil. Let's start with Ole Miss. Obviously, Lane Kiffin, now at LSU, brought most of his offensive staff with him, including Charlie Weiss Jr. Ole Miss did make the great run through the college football playoff. I mean, they're on the doorstep of playing for a national championship with Pete Golden leading the charge. But, again, Charlie Weiss was still there. You've had some turnover in that roster. Chambliss, Lacey, they do return. How big of a blow to Ole Miss is not having Lane Kiffin in that offensive staff this year?
I like the fact they hired Pete Golding. Generally, when you get a new head coach in, it's you have to learn the players. Players have to learn new systems. They don't have that problem this year. Pete Golding knows all the players inside and out, having been there. I think they bonded together during their playoff run. As you mentioned, Trinidad Chambliss is back, looked great in the playoffs, came within a play of making the national title game. Kewan Lacey, a first-team All-American running back. I like the additions they've got at wide receiver with Jonte Cook and Deuce Alexander. And defensively, still loaded. You're looking at NFL guys like Will Eccles up front at nose tackle, Perkins at the jack linebacker spot, Keaton Thomas at middle linebacker, and Kite at cornerback. I think Ole Miss is very close to last year's squad. They're a legitimate contender in the SEC this year.
Phil, why is nobody talking about Georgia?
Because that's funny. I feel Georgia's under the radar.
Yes.
Despite the fact I've got on my number one team. Look at last year. Last year they had a young quarterback in Gunnar Stockton taking over for the first time, and Stockton did great in the fourth quarter, did great on fourth down. They've got an outstanding running back core. The offensive line, I rate number 7 in the country. Defense, absolutely loaded. And here's the thing, Matt. This year in the magazine, I did something new, which is put in the homegrown factor. If you go to the Big 12 page, I explain the homegrown factor, but basically I think your best teams are the ones that aren't relying on the portal. They're the ones that sign players as freshmen, develop them sophomores, juniors. You use the portal, but you don't rely on it. The majority of your players are what I call homegrown. And if you look on that page, the majority of the top homegrown teams had winning records last year. The teams that were heavy in the portal all had losing seasons last year. So the homegrown factor is heavy for Georgia. They're number 1 in the SEC, number 4 in the country in the homegrown factor. And I've got them rated defensively as number 2 in the country, offensively top 10 as well.
Phil, I've noticed, kind of thumbing through the magazine and whatnot, Alabama keeps popping up. And I'm curious, you seem pretty high on the Tide, despite maybe some questions at quarterback and a slow running game the past couple of seasons under Kalen DeBoer. What's standing out for you about Alabama this year?
Well, first thing, Matt, is to make my surprise team list, you have to not be ranked in the top 10. So when's the last time Alabama was not ranked in the top 10?
Oh, Lord.
You have to go all the way back to 2005. So I haven't been able to use them on my surprise team list. When I saw they're not going to be in the top 10 this year, I'm like, oh, I get to use Alabama. But I like Kalen DeBoer. I think he's one of the better head coaches out there. He's in his third year. This is clearly his team now. And I know everybody watched the Georgia SEC title game, and you watched that game against Indiana, and they couldn't run the ball late in the year, and they got blown out in 2 games. That's why Alabama's so low. But they still have talent. And remember, who was the number 1 seed for the SEC championship game? It was Alabama over Georgia, and they had a good season, take away the Florida State and those other 2. Now, last year they had a first-year starting quarterback. Ty Simpson did well. He hit 65%. He had a 28-5 ratio. This year they got 2 quarterbacks that can step in there and do it. Keelan Russell was one of the top true freshman quarterbacks last year, got his feet wet a little bit. Austin Mack knows the system inside and out, and he's 6'6", 232. I think they have 2 solid quarterbacks. One of those guys is going to emerge. They have the running backs. I do think you're going to see a run game this year, much better than last year. I thought Ryan Coleman struggled at times. He had, 10, 11 drops last year. I think he's going to rebound to form to go along with Brooks and Scott at receiver. And defensively, I like the overall talent that they have there. Then you look at the schedule. They do have to play LSU on the road. That's going to be tough. Naturally, and they play Georgia at home, though. And I think when you look at the schedule, there's the only 2, that one and Tennessee on the road. I think Alabama's a legitimate SEC contender, and I think everybody's sleeping on them right now. That's why they're my number one surprise team.
Talking with Phil Steele, of course, on Twitter, X, at Phil Steele 042. Get the Phil Steele's College Football Preview magazine out now, wherever you can get magazines, newsstands, everywhere. Phil, LSU. I noticed you have them 21st in your top 25, tied for 7th in the SEC. Are you not as high on LSU as everybody else?
Well, I think LSU will be in the AP top 10 coming into the season, no doubt about it. And they deserve to be so. You look at the talent Lane Kiffin has brought in through the transfer portal. If Sam Leavitt plays like he did 2 years ago at Arizona State, they've got themselves a quarterback that can win playoff games for you. The question marks would be, it is a rebuilt team, as far as one starter back or two starters back on the offensive line, I should say. You look at the receiving core, they lose 3 of the top 4 receivers, and defensively, they've got, a different defense, only 3 starters back off last year's squad. Now, love the talent acquisitions, but of course, remember last year, LSU had the best transfer portal class, and things didn't work out as well. I think the excitement's there. If they win those close games early, the Ole Miss game is going to be huge. The home game against A&M going to be huge. They do have to play Auburn on the road. They host Alabama and Texas. I'll say this. If LSU takes care of business in Death Valley, they've got a great shot at making the playoff this year. They just have to win those tough home games.
All right, Phil, I have a couple more for you. Onto the Big Ten, that looks like a really, really good quarterback league. Obviously, you have Dante Moore. You have Julian Sain. You've got a year or two of Bryce Underwood, Josh Hoover, obviously up in Indiana now. What do you make of that just stellar group of talent and who can emerge in that league? Oh, and Jaden Mayav. I didn't even mention Jaden Mayav at USC.
Yeah, and when I talked to Lincoln Riley, he was saying that he feels Mayav is going to be a first-round draft pick after this season's over. So keep your eyes on him. I think the top 3 teams are clearly Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon, and I can make a case for any one of those 3 winning the Big Ten this year. Ohio State has the most potent offense in the country, led by Sam, led by the number 1 receiving core, and led by a now Joe Moore caliber offensive line. I'm right at the number 2 offensive line in the country. Coach Signetti, how do you doubt this guy? I mean, he just produces. And I'll go back to my first conversation with Coach Signetti back at James Madison, his first year in the FBS. Lost his all-conference quarterback. I'm like, well, Coach, what are you going to do there? He's like, Phil, I always have an all-conference quarterback. We will have one this year. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. Guess what? They did. And every year he does. And he said that Hoover is right now where Mendoza was last year coming out of spring. So I've got the confidence he'll develop Hoover, cut down on the interceptions, and the rest of the team very talented. The only game I don't have him favored this year is home against Ohio State, and I've got that a toss-up game, a pick-em game. And then Oregon, Dan Lanning's got Dante Moore back. Who thought he was coming back? I thought he'd be a top 10 pick this year, and he's got one of the top defensive lines in the country. And with Oregon, they could very well become the 4th Big Ten team in 4 years, 4th different Big Ten team in 4 years to win the title. And if you're looking for a sleeper, it'd be what you just touched on, Jaden Maeva and USC. Coach Riley feels this is the best defense USC has put on the field since he's been there. And they bring in Gary Patterson as the defense coordinator. I think he's one of the better defensive minds out there.
Can anybody challenge Miami in the ACC?
The teams that will challenge Miami will be Clemson, SMU, and Louisville. I think those are the 3, but Miami's got the most talent. And, Miami hasn't won an ACC title. They joined that league in 2004 and have never won an ACC title. I'm going to go out on a limb and call for one here this year. They've got the talent to do so. Love the acquisition of Darian Mensah at quarterback and Cooper Barkate coming in from Duke. Barkate was their top receiver to go along with Mark Fletcher, Malachi Toney, and a loaded defense. I think Miami's the most talented team and run the table in the ACC.
Phil Steele on Twitter X at Phil Steele 042. Of course, Phil Steele's College Football Preview Magazine 2026. It is out now. Phil, tell them about philsteele.com, the magazine. Where can they find you?
I appreciate that very much, Matt. Now, if you're out and about looking for it, there's only 2 places you can go, Barnes & Noble and Books A Million. So Barnes & Noble, Books A Million are the only 2 brick-and-mortar stores to go, but it's 376 pages, 2 full pages on all 138 teams. I give you the same amount of coverage on UL Monroe as I do on Georgia and Alabama. 2 full pages on each team loaded with information. Now, you can also go to the website, philsteele.com, and at philsteele.com, if you order the magazine, I'm going to charge you a shipping charge. It costs to mail things, but we do give you the digital magazine for free then, and the digital magazine's updated all the way through the month of September. So Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, or philsteele.com to pick up this year's magazine, but it's like getting 138 media guides rolled into one.
It is the Bible of college football this time of year for sure. Phil, we appreciate it as always, man, and we'll talk to you come week 1. College football, it's almost here. Thank you.
Sounds great, man. Always enjoy the conversations, my friend. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Of course, that is Phil Steele, and Phil will be with us weekly during football season on Fridays, part of our Football Friday lineup where we go through the biggest games of the college football weekend with Phil each week in 2 segments normally. So we get you 14 picks normally from Phil Steele. Looking forward to that, man, when it comes time for week 1 once again here on AFR. Enjoy catching up with Phil always, man. He's the best. We got to grab a break before we do so. AFR is brought to you by Parish Restoration.
AFR is brought to you by Parish Restoration. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens, commercial or residential. As a matter of fact, Parish Restoration, I love the process, by the way. If you go to the website at parishrestoration.com, you can see videos of their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. So you see exactly what it looks like. Very cool. But they have fogged, over at Parish Restoration, they fogged one of the largest buildings in the entire state of Louisiana. So it doesn't matter if it's your office building, your church, whatever it may be, school, or your home. They can even fog your car. Maybe your car has a weird odor, musty smell. Maybe you bought a used car from a smoker and you can't get that smoky smell out. This will do it. They'll come while you're at work, fog it. By the time you're done with work for the day, boom, you're back in a clean-smelling, fresh-smelling vehicle. It's Parish Restoration. Learn more at parishrestoration.com. Parishrestoration.com. Do business with someone you know. Parishrestoration.com.
All right, we still got a ton to get to here on this Friday edition of AFR. Sam Spiegelman still to come, about an hour from right now. We'll talk with Sam Spiegelman, obviously from Rivals. He's posted an update regarding Easton Royal, Jalen Brewster, and Ahmad Hudson, 3 recruitments he's been following very closely from a national perspective. So we'll get Sam's thoughts there and an update, obviously on that. We still have to get to Kylie McDaniel and his final mock draft. Full 2-round mock, comp rounds and all, 75 picks, plenty of LSU flavor, but overall, you're probably going to be pleased with what you hear, at least from Kylie's latest mock draft as well. So really excited, obviously to have that conversation here a little bit later on. It's Musso in for Moscona after further review on a Friday presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We'll go around the SEC next. Don't move.
AFR.
DuplessisPools.com, DuplessisPools.com, DuplessisPools.com. Go to DuplessisPools.com and start building your dream pool today. DuplessisPools.com. Hat tip to my friend Derek Duplessis and the great staff, as for the 2nd consecutive year, Duplessis Pools was named a top 50 pool builder in America by Pool and Spa magazine. As a matter of fact, Duplessis Pools was the only pool builder in the state of Louisiana to receive that honor. DuplessisPools.com is the website, DuplessisPools.com. Yesterday was awesome. Me, Erica, Drew spent part of our Sunday cooling off in the pool. Might have had a cold Bud Light or 2. It's a great way to spend those summer days. Great way to have parties, showpiece. That dream can be your reality as well. But start at DuplessisPools.com. You can design your pool online. You can finance it online. Pay for it right now. It's DuplessisPools.com. Check them out online. It's DuplessisPools.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at
Here on the Gulf Coast, a wave says a lot. It says hello. It says thanks. It says we care. Shouldn't banking feel the same way? A friendly wave. A familiar face. Backed by all the convenient tools you need to make banking a breeze. We're Gulf Coast Bank and Trust. Give us a wave and coast into better banking.
This is what you're looking for.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season, and we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home.
Need a steel building? Proform Steel. I want you to remember the name. Why use Proform Steel? Well, I got tons of reasons. Here's a few. How about the lead times? 6 to 8 weeks from signed contract out the door. They'll get it to you quicker. Free delivery on every building. You buy it from them, they'll deliver it for free. It's Proform Steel. You can even order online. You can pick the style, size, color, doors, submit the form, get a call back the same day. And at Proform Steel, they use American-made materials on everything. No exceptions. It's Proform Steel. Maybe you need a shed in your backyard. Maybe we're talking about a big industrial facility. Need a steel building? You want Proform Steel. Make sure you call Brandon Golson, you know the name, at Proform Steel. Check them out, Proform Steel.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Rolling along here, Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Musso in for Moscona. Moscona's back on Monday after 2 weeks away. The last time Scone hosted AFR was Monday, June 29th. I know that because I got back from vacation on Tuesday, June 30th, and we've started this. So, man, it's been a blast filling in for now 8 straight shows. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed getting to talk with all of you. We've covered some pretty good stuff. But here after in 2 hours and 21 minutes, I'm handing it back over to Scott. He'll be back on Monday. We got some fun stuff already planned for Monday's show. Excited to tell you about that maybe a little bit later on as well. All right. In the meantime, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia, they're back on the board in the class of 2027. Land a commitment from 4-star offensive lineman Miller Westerfield. That came on Friday. Committed to the in-state school. 18th commit for Georgia in the class. Chose the Bulldogs over LSU and Tennessee. 6'5", 285 pounds. 31st offensive lineman in the country. The number 47 player in Georgia.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Alabama continues to bolster their 2028 signing class, this time with a commitment from quarterback Kingston Prayer. Prayer made that decision on Friday. In-state player as well. Number 4 quarterback in the class of 2028. 5th player in the state of Alabama, according to the Rivals Industry ranking. Overall, he's the number 56th player in 2028 and a 4-star prospect. Brings Alabama's 2028 class up to 5 commitments already.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Will Stein not done building his staff over there in Lexington. Here on Friday, he added 4 more staffers. Kentucky announced that in a press release. Dylan Sanders and Rob Snyder, they will join the on-field coaching staff, while Leah Bernard and John Herron will bolster the recruiting office. So Sanders, he's in his second stint with the Wildcats, having previously served as a defensive assistant from 2016 to 2018. He'll work with the inside linebackers coach on Stein's squad as kind of an assistant. And and Rob Snyder joins the UK defensive line staff after a brief stop at Illinois State and 2 seasons at Nicholls State.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
A baseball note here for the Vols. They've landed another transfer infielder. This time it's Mario Trivella from Florida International. He announced that decision late on Thursday. Spent just 1 season with FIU, leading the team in homers with 15. So obviously he'll thrive in the tiny little ballpark that is Lindsey Nelson. Also drove in 50, hit 287, started 49 games at shortstop, 5'11" before FIU, spent 2 seasons at State College of Florida, then to the Golden Flashes, and now, the Golden Panthers, and now to Tennessee Vols.
Texas A&M!
In Texas A&M baseball, they've landed a commitment from former Lamar left-handed pitcher. That's Jarrett Williams. Made that decision on Thursday evening as well. Spent his freshman season at Lamar with the new 5-for-5 eligibility age-based deal that the NCAA passed. He should have 4 seasons left to play in college baseball. In that freshman year at Lamar, he was named a midseason first-team freshman All-America by Perfect Game. Went 2-3 with a 3.83 ERA, 16 appearances, 12 starts, 56 1/3 innings pitched, punched out 52. He'll look to continue that now on Michael Early's squad in College Station. There you have it. That's around the SEC here on a Friday edition of AFR. Musso in from Scone. Don Juan Cigar Bar, of course, brings you your Friday shows. And we are also brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing.
Brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing, parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. That's me and Terrio and Richard Tilley and Joe Morales and Trent Davis and our whole staff. And we appreciate everyone so much who's given us the opportunity. Our commercial roofing manager, Matt Pearson, sent us all a text that we were just awarded a large commercial roofing job today, and they heard us talking about it. And yes, of course, at your home, any roof repair, replacement, we love to help you out. We can install gutters for you. We do soft wash, do all of it. But I want to remind you that we are a commercial roofing company as well. So if your commercial building needs a new roof or repair, you have any issues whatsoever, we have the best guy. We went and scoured the world and found Matt Pearson in Florida, and we brought him to Baton Rouge. I'm convinced there's not a soul alive that knows more about commercial roofing than Matt Pearson. So if your commercial building is having any roof issues, roof repair, replacement, or you just need options, trust me, have a conversation with Matt Pearson. We'd love to help you out. Parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com.
All right, we continue to roll along here on AFR. Yesterday, obviously, we talked plenty about the upcoming LSU donor presentation at the governor's mansion that Wade Roos will lead. And in doing so, we talked plenty about LSU's forward thinking and forward momentum and drive in the NIL space. Well, there's another announcement today that furthers a current partnership with LSU. We'll talk about that to close out hour number 1 of AFR next. Stick around.
After further review.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001-752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. I love sharing 5-star Google reviews. Here's one from Ricky Gomez, who said Chris, his technician, was very professional and knowledgeable during the HVAC evaluation. He provided details and recommendations in a clear and concise manner. That's one of the things that always stands out. If you're having an issue with your AC or your heater, and River City's 1 Hour Air sends out a technician for an evaluation, they're going to explain your options to you. And that may sound simple, but none of it, I don't know anything about an HVAC, neither do you. Let's be honest. So whenever they go get up in your attic or they go look at your HVAC unit on the side of your house and they come talk to you, they're going to explain very clearly what's happening and your options to remedy it. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. 752-0001.
People think it's all about game day. but the real work happens in the off season.
Spring practices,
Early lifts, extra reps. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
So we can do what we do best. We trust the lake.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawbillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. They will always find a way to get you the best possible price for the best possible tires on the road. That's what they do at Shawbills. And when they get you in by selling you the best tires, the cheapest price possible, they're going to treat you like family, and they're going to treat you so good you're going to keep coming back year after year after year every time you need anything for your vehicle. Tires rotated, oil changed, check engine light on, brakes squeaking, whatever's wrong with your vehicle, bring it to Shawbills. Let them give it the once-over. And you can always schedule online, so it's convenient. ShawbillsTire.com. Find the location nearest you at ShawbillsTire.com. Shop tires online at ShawbillsTire.com. Be sure to ask about the Shawbills credit card as well, because you can save $50 off your first purchase when you use the Shawbills credit card only at Shawbills.
All right, you'll remember last December, Nike and LSU announced a big extension on their, partnership that's been going on for 5 decades now that would run through 2036. But in part with that, Nike used Baton Rouge and LSU as their launching point for their new Blue Ribbon Elite NIL program. There were 10 LSU athletes in that initial class that were featured in Nike ads, and they had an NIL deal with Nike. They went through all their deliverables. When I had 10 LSU athletes, Nike could have picked anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, in essence, to do something like that. They picked LSU. They picked Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It was one of those moments that really showed LSU out in front in NIL. And when Verge Osbury was on this show, shortly after being named the permanent athletic director, the new athletic, being elevated from interim, right? He talked about that and how, man, LSU worked really hard to get that deal done. Them and Nike collaborated on it, and it was one of those things where it's like, well, you don't wait, you go do it. And then obviously the Woodside Energy jersey patch followed after that. And those are really the two kind of signature moments last offseason where it was like, man, LSU they're moving in the right direction here. Well, that Nike partnership is not done, obviously. And today you saw the new Nike back to school ad drop, and it features 4 LSU, current LSU student athletes. From football, Trey'Dez Green, who was one of the initial athletes a year ago. Whit Weeks, who is now joining the Nike Blue Ribbon Elite NIL program. Kylie Edwards from softball as well, joining up with that program. And then Zakiya Johnson from women's basketball. She, like Trey'Dez Green, was one of the initial 10. This is awesome. I mean, it's showing LSU's willingness to just go out and find new revenue streams by being aggressive and dealing with their great partners that they have. It's also an awesome opportunity for Whit Weeks, for Kylie Edwards, who join up with this. And obviously it's the continuation of an awesome opportunity for players like Trey'Dez Green and Zakiya Johnson. The other interesting part about this is you had 10 a year ago. That's 4 that you know of. The full roster of Nike athletes from LSU this year is expected to be a whole lot more than just 10. And that full roster should be announced closer to the school year starting, which, it's July 10th, probably about a month away or so from LSU being back in school. So we won't have to wait long to find that out. But the really cool thing that the Nike Blue Ribbon Elite program offers is it offers opportunities to so many elite athletes at LSU and other places, but across just multiple sports. I mean, so many times you see football, it's always going to get the lion's share of revenue. That's where the biggest NIL deals go. But, I mean, how cool is it to see Kylie Edwards from the softball team being able to have this type of opportunity? I mean, you had 2 softball players a year ago in Tori Edwards and Jaden Heavner. Now, neither of them are with LSU anymore. They've entered the transfer portal. But, you had a volleyball athlete last year in Journey Robinson get this opportunity. Kaylin Chio, obviously from gymnastics. Now, she's incredible and awesome. And, I mean, probably it's crazy to think because Haley Bryant was just here and was incredible. Kaylin Chio has a chance to pass up Haley Bryant and all the records that she set before her time is done. But it's one of those things on a national scale that offers so many NIL opportunities to sports that maybe aren't in that spotlight or maybe aren't receiving as big a piece of the pie, a revenue share, and NIL at LSU that, say, football and basketball are. So, I mean, that's awesome. You'll have a baseball presence on there, too. I mean, Derek Curiel and Kason Evans were part of the initial class a year ago. So, the other thing is, when you look at the initial class from a year ago, you see a number of players on it. I mean, we talked about it with the 2 softball players, DJ Thomas, Derek Curiel, who aren't going to be there again. So not only is the size of the roster going to, I mean, probably at least double, I would think, here in this this school year, it's going to open up an opportunity for new athletes to get that chance too, with so many departing, whether that be for their professional careers or just another opportunity somewhere else in the transfer portal. So awesome, man. Fired up for Trey'Dez Green, for Whit Weeks, for Kylie Edwards, for Zakiya Johnson. That's awesome. And the thing is, all 4 of those players in their respective sports completely, just shined for LSU here. And, Zakiya Johnson had a great freshman season on Kim Mulkey's squad. Obviously, Kylie Edwards was arguably the best player on LSU in LSU softball's lineup a year ago, and we know Trades Green and Whit Weeks. So really cool opportunity for them. Again, it's the Nike Back to School ad. I mean, it's all over LSU and Nike's social medias or whatnot, their campaign. Trades Green, Whit Weeks, Zakiya Johnson, Kylie Edwards, 4 LSU student athletes, the first to be announced here for this round of the Nike Blue Ribbon Elite NIL program in partnership with LSU. Plenty more to come there. So congratulations and awesome opportunity for those 4. Obviously, when the rest of the list comes out, I'm sure we'll talk about it here on AFR, but that'll be closer to the school year. All right, we're going to grab a break. Come back on the other side. Sports Center, get you caught up on national headlines. We will switch back to the Major League Baseball draft. Kylie Edwards from ESPN released his final mock draft here on Friday. LSU flavor, but really some pretty good news for LSU, too. We'll talk all about that to start hour 2 next here on AFR.
Quick reminder about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry.
After further review.
They're the best. If you are, gentlemen, thinking about popping the question and you're thinking about where am I going to go buy that diamond, I want you to consider this. There are places that will sell you man-made lab diamonds, but what are you buying? It's according to its makeup and characteristics, sure, diamond. But is it going to hold its value? Like, is that the way you want to say, I love you, I want to spend the rest of my life with you? Go to Lee Michaels. Go to Lee Michaels. Walk in the door. Experience the thing I talk about all the time, which is the Lee Michaels experience. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry with 10 locations. Baton Rouge, 2 locations in Baton Rouge. New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, Mississippi, Texas as well. 10 locations across 3 states. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Thrill her, gentlemen. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry.
Raising Cane's is honoring Chuck Norris on National Chicken Finger Day. For every box combo sold on July 27th, Cane's is donating $1 to Chuck's Foundation, Kickstart Kids.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU Sports since 1998. And Rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season, and we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
My name is Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Sports Center.
I'm John Ryder. The only World Cup quarterfinal match on today's schedule just went final in Los Angeles. Spain advances with a 2-1 win over Belgium. Mikel Moreno scoring the go-ahead goal on a deflection in the 88th minute. Spain will take on France in the semis. Tomorrow in Miami, it's England against Norway in the quarters. ESPN soccer analyst Hercules Gonzalez.
I'm not a geography expert, but Norway doesn't seem like a country that's used to crazy summers. And England, okay? They're going to be playing in Miami. The English and their Norwegian team in Miami, those fans, they're all going to melt. So there's going to be a ton of mistakes, big-time errors. I would bet the over here.
Hercules Gomez on game night. The St. Louis Cardinals have agreed on an 8-year, $112.5 million extension. Rookie standout second baseman J.J. Weatherholt, reports ESPN's Jeff Passan. Wimbledon men's final is set. It will be top seed Jannik Sinner defending his title against second-seeded Alexander Zverev on Sunday. And on ESPN TV, Sinner defeating Novak Djokovic in straight sets today.
If you run a small business, you've got to try Gusto. Get unlimited payroll runs and get your payroll taxes filed automatically. Offer health insurance, 401k, and more. Get started for free at gusto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour number 2 off and running here after further review. Welcome in. Musso in for Moscona here on this Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Luke Foster, Paul O'Neill along for the ride. Fired up to have you along for the ride as well. 1 hour in the books, 2 more here to go, and then it is off into your weekend, a weekend that will include the MLB Draft, which we're going to get to here momentarily. Sam Spiegelman, he'll be with us here in a little less than half an hour or so. Sam had an update from a national perspective on LSU's pursuit of Easton Royal, LSU's pursuit of Jalen Brewster, and still where the commitment stands with LSU 5-star tight end Ahmad Hudson. So definitely want to get Sam on the show, talk about him with all the latest there, as that stuff kind of continues to just develop daily here. Here as we get closer and closer to the start of high school football camps, obviously of LSU, and starting their season camp as well. So get the latest there from Sam. As I said, though, right off the top, the Major League Baseball draft that gets underway on Saturday, noon Central Time, NBC, Peacock, MLB Network. If you want to watch it, rounds 1 through 4 will be on Saturday. Rounds 5 through 20 will be on Sunday, and then that will be the MLB draft in the books. Just a little 2-day event there where, good Lord, you're going to hear a bunch of names called, but we always pay attention to it because it greatly shapes the future of LSU baseball and their roster. And we've done plenty different segments here kind of throughout the week, looking at the signing class, looking at the current players for LSU, although those decisions kind of feel made. And there's not really one you're hanging on there like you have, obviously, in years past. Not at least Stephen Milam really kind of took all the intrigue out of that with the current roster when he withdrew his name, back in June. So the main focus has really been on the signees. And Kylie McDaniel today over at ESPN.com issued his final mock draft, 75 picks, so a full 2-round mock. There are 3 LSU signees mentioned. Let's start here at pick 38 with Logan Smith. Obviously, Logan Schmidt. We all expect him to sign. He has a very high number. Like, he's looking for first-round money. I don't think he'll get first-round money, but that's a guy who's a left-handed pitcher who throws 97. Those guys just don't show up to campus. They just don't. You're expecting him to sign for what it's worth. The slot value there at pick 38 for him would be $2.63 million. It's probably somewhere. I wouldn't say that's his number probably that he's asking for, because again, he's looking for teens first-round money. There in a sense there, but makes sense. Even if it's not the Rockies, they don't have a very big bonus pool, but I digress. it makes sense for the team that likes him, and again, lefty that throws 97 already in high school, that they can get somewhere close to his number. Probably not reach it, but somewhere close, and you would expect him to sign. The next LSU signee that comes off the board in this draft is Dominic Santarelli, 41st overall to the Chicago White Sox. And man, this is an interesting one because when we had Joe Doyle here on the show with us Thursday, asked Joe about Santarelli because for a while it was just widely assumed that Dominic Santarelli would sign. He was not going to make it to campus. He's 6'2", 6'3", 230 pounds already, first baseman. I mean, raw power. Just look at the show he put on at the MLB Combine. We've talked about it all week long. He led the MLB Combine in average exit velo, and you were talking like 110 and above on some of the shots that were coming off of his bat. The raw power is the best in LSU's class. Like, think about Jared Jones and the numbers he put up at the Combine coming out of high school. Well, he made it to LSU. Think about Mason Braun. Mason Braun hit like the 3 furthest home runs at the MLB Combine a year ago. He made it to LSU. You look at Dominic Santarelli, you think, okay, can that guy follow in those footsteps? And we talked to Joe Doyle yesterday, and really kind of everything you've just been seeing around Santarelli's name in the draft is it's a true 50-50 coin flip for him right now, whether he signs professional or ends up at LSU. You know, there's a really good NIL package available for him at LSU. And Joe Doyle, when he was with us yesterday, mentioned Santarelli's number that he wants is $3 to $3.5 million. Well, 41st overall, you look at the slot value for that, and it's a really good number, but it's not $3.5 million. It's 2.4. The question he has to answer is, do I want to turn down, in terms of this mock draft, this is just Kylie McDaniel's opinion, but do I want to turn down like a minimum of $2.4 million that's going to be in my hand? And who knows? You know, again, you go, we'll use the White Sox as an example. You look at the White Sox, because that's who he's mocked to. The White Sox have the 3rd highest bonus pool in the Major League Draft. They could give him more and sign him over slot. So that's just one of those instances where you look at this, it's a left-handed power hitter. Now, the defense needs work at first base, but he could also play corner outfield. He's an insane athlete for his size, the raw power that he possesses, and hitting from the left side, teams could look at that and go, all right, left-handed power bat, a little bit of positional versatility, but we got to, he's not going to be fast-tracked probably. What do you want to pay? I'll say it again, 50-50 coin flip there with Santarelli. But, man, it's going to be a tough decision. Like, that guy, he's really going to have to look at this and go, all right, this is my number, $3.5 million. This is what I want. Maybe that it's not quite this, but do I want to turn down 2.5 to 8 or whatnot and bet on myself? And if he wants to do that, then he'll show up at LSU. If he doesn't, he'll sign professional. And I got to tell you, my opinion is whoever drafts him, they're going to probably make him an offer that's at least close to his number and really make him think about it. And when it comes down to it, I think that he will most likely sign professional. Like that's my guess for Santarelli. The third LSU prospect that is mentioned is Jensen Hirschkorn. And Jensen Hirschkorn is mentioned not in the 75 picks. Jensen Hirschkorn is mentioned as a real threat to end up in college, which would just be massive for LSU. I'll reference our conversation again a day ago with Joe Doyle. Right-handed high school pitchers are not something that MLB scouting departments just fall in love with and are like, man, we got to have this guy, at least not super early in the draft. Hirschkorn wasn't the only player mentioned in that section of top-ranked players who are real threats to make it to campus. One that was mentioned was shortstop Noah Danza, who's committed to Mississippi State. And I bring that up because within the last hour, Noah Danza pulled his name out of the MLB draft and will be heading to Mississippi State. So that's already one in this list here that Kylie McDaniel had, who's already made the decision to forego the draft. Jensen Hirschkorn is in there. And if LSU gets Jensen Hirschkorn to campus, y'all, that's a massive get. MLB Pipeline ranks him the 56th best player in this draft. You are talking a top 60 draft prospect, at least by one publication. It is a 6'7" right-handed arm who's still got room to put weight on. Okay, Jensen Hirschkorn, while he's 6'7", he's only listed at 205. There is a lot of weight that could go onto his frame. He's already up to 97 miles per hour. You add more weight, you could look at that and think, yeah, that guy could reach triple digits one day. He has a real chance to have a legit 3-pitch mix. It is easy, no wasted motion in the delivery, easy velocity from Hirschkorn. That's a guy who could profile as a starting pitcher at some point in his time if he makes it to campus. That is the best news out of this mock draft, is that Jensen Hirschkorn is listed as a top prospect that is a, quote, real threat to make it to campus. And another one of those guys who we mentioned, Noah Danza, already has, and he's going to Mississippi State. That was within the last hour. You never say never, right? You never count your chickens before they hatch when it comes to the MLB draft. But that's a great development right there for LSU, because, again, when Kylie McDaniel was here with us back in June, he talked about Hirschkorn and said there was no chance. Like, that guy's going to get 1.5 or higher and sign out of high school. And maybe that still happens. But given that he's a right-handed pitcher, there's some projection left in there. Yeah, like that could draw their ire. But right-handed pitchers, man, out of high school, it's just, they're a dime a dozen. So, I mean, it's not always guaranteed, but that's an interesting draft development here one day out where Hirschkorn's a legit threat to make it to campus. So file that away. That's one we are definitely going to be keeping a close eye on here all throughout the 20 rounds of the draft, but specifically the top 10 rounds of the Major League Baseball draft. The LSU prospects in the draft, you can guess them. Derek Carr was mocked 11th to the Washington Nationals. His window really starts at 10 with the Colorado Rockies. It just depends on how the draft falls, but he has been the rumored pick for the Colorado Rockies at 10, but say someone they covet is still there. He could slip maybe a little bit more. Either way, that's slot value of anywhere from $6.1 to $6.3 million. I do think Carr will get a little under slot, though. Probably won't sign for full slot. And then Jake Brown, obviously. Jake Brown was the other one, 65th overall to the Mariners. Slot value there, $1.382 million. So kind of, you're really looking at 1.4. But the Mariners don't have a huge bonus pool, so they might be looking to sign their guys under slot. We'll see, but I would imagine Jake Brown still gets somewhere close to $1 million, if not a little over that. And congratulations to those two guys, and obviously what LSU's done in the portal. Not that there was really any question that Carriel and Brown were going to sign, but with what LSU's done in the portal, they've replaced them already. So it'll be a happy celebration day, obviously, tomorrow for both families of Jake Brown and Derek Carriel as they look to start their future in professional baseball. Hopefully 2 long, extensive futures that include multiple Major League All-Star games and World Series. I mean, that's obviously what you hope for those guys. They were huge players for LSU and a part of a lot of winning. If you can't get enough MLB draft content, well, I might have just the thing for you. I'm going to go home tonight. I'm going to eat dinner. And then I'm going to fire up a live stream, Musso at the Box, and we'll talk draft for however long y'all want to talk draft. Go through all the prospects, the signees, the current players, all of that. So be on the lookout for that. Do tune in. Otherwise, I'm just going to be sitting there talking to myself. But we'll do it one way or the other. But just heads up there. I'll go home, eat dinner, and then fire that up. It's going to be a fun couple of days, Saturday and Sunday for the Major League Baseball draft. And there'll be plenty of LSU flavor, plenty of white knuckling, and some pretty good celebrations, too. They got a deep class, man, especially on the mound. I'm really excited about the potential for LSU on the mound out of this signing class. All right, We'll grab a break. We'll come back on the other side and switch over to the New Orleans Saints. Pro Football Focus, they ranked all 32 starting running backs. Where's Travis Etienne fall in? We'll tell you next here on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, two beautiful hotel properties in Baton Rouge, the Watermark downtown, the Renaissance Southtown right there on Bluebonnet. And when it comes to hosting your event, both the Watermark and the Renaissance are perfect. The Watermark is a gorgeous, elegant spot in downtown Baton Rouge. That wedding reception, that smaller gathering, that meeting space, they can do it. They've kept so much of the history and tradition of that iconic building while modernizing it. The Gregory is a great restaurant inside of the Watermark as well. And then, of course, the Renaissance Hotel, Southtown, right there on Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge. It's more modern. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous hotel property at the Renaissance Hotel where they have meeting space that can accommodate up to 500 people, 7,000 square foot of meeting space, perfectly located right off of Bluebonnet and I-10. It's the Watermark and the Renaissance Hotels in Baton Rouge.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track.
We're brought to you by Supper Club. You can book your reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. One of the things about Supper Club that I love is if you want to go to Supper Club and be a baller, you can do it. You want to go to Supper Club and order a $5,000 bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, you can do it. You want to go have $400 shots of cognac, you can do it. You can have experiences at Supper Club that usually are reserved for Las Vegas and New York and Paris and Abu Dhabi. Like, that's here in Baton Rouge. But the thing you got to remember as well, if you want to go to Supper Club and have the best steak of your life and have a few appetizers, a dessert, bottle of wine, you can do it as affordably as any other restaurant in town. But the experience at Supper Club is unmatched. Introduced open seating at the bar, first come, first serve. So if you knock off of work, you want to head by Supper Club, you can walk in without a reservation, see if you can grab a bar stool or a table by the bar as well. Have a great dinner, maybe cocktail, close some business. Book your reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Rolling along here after further review on a Friday, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Musso in for Moscona. Sam Spiegelman, he'll be with us here in about 10 minutes or so. Talk some LSU recruiting. There's been a couple developments involving Easton Royal and Jalen Brewster. We'll get the national perspective of that from Sam Spiegelman. Pro Football Focus, they're going through their little trend here throughout the offseason now where they rank the 32 starters at each position in the NFL. Today was running back. So where did Travis Etienne pop in for the New Orleans Saints? That answer is 15th. He was number 15 in their rankings. They note third 1,000-yard rushing season in his 4-year career. 4-year deal, $48 million. His 791 yards after contact culminated for 10th in the NFL. Should form one of the NFL's most dynamic duos with Alvin Kamara. Top half of the league there for Travis Etienne. If you're curious, number 1 on the list was obviously Bijan Robinson for the Atlanta Falcons. He's been great, followed by Jahmyr Gibbs, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane, James Cook, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Kenneth Walker, and Kyron Williams from the Rams. That was your top 10. Back to Travis Etienne, though. It's just interesting to me because, look, I'm not telling you that he should have been higher on this list. That's not what I'm saying. You've got we just ran through some really, really good running backs in the NFL there for the top 10. I can't help but look at Travis Etienne and wonder if he is one of the more undervalued running backs in the NFL. Just given his ability both in the running game, but also out of the backfield receiving, which is it's a prerequisite in the NFL now if you're going to play that position. And you look at not just 3 1,000-yard seasons out of his 4, but also really insane durability at one of the more physical positions. We talk about the shelf life of a running back all the time in the NFL now. In 3 of his 4 seasons, he's played all 17 games. And in the 1 year he didn't, he played 15 games. And again, it's not just the 3 1,000-yard seasons. 2 of those were 1,100-yard seasons. It's a guy who a year ago scored 13 touchdowns between rushing and receiving. 7 on the ground, 6 through the air. That is his career high total for touchdowns in a season. He is coming off of pretty close to a career year. And I just think when you look at it, doesn't it feel like, when you put it that way, doesn't it feel like he's a bit undervalued? So, man, I couldn't be more fired up for Travis Etienne here this season for the New Orleans Saints, and especially it looks like they really shored up their offensive line. We'll see what happens at right guard with Cesar Ruiz. But where I'm really hopeful that he can help is in the red zone, because the New Orleans Saints were dead last in red zone offense a year ago. Dead last. 32 out of 32. 44.4% of the time, they converted red zone opportunities into touchdowns. Dead last. You know what really helps being able to score in the run zone? Running the red zone, running the football. You have great receiving targets, I understand. Juwan Johnson at tight end's a big target. Devon Vele, big target for you down in the red zone. Jordan Tyson, 6'2". Chris Olave, yes, that's great. But man, at some point, you got to be at the 5-yard line and just be able to freaking strap up and shove your opponent backwards or break a tackle and get into the end zone. Will your way into the end zone on the ground. And that's, again, where Etienne's yards after contact comes in, that Pro Football Focus noted. 791 yards after contact a year ago, 10th in the NFL. how big of a difference can he make in the red area for the New Orleans Saints? Because they view him 3 down back. Kellen Moore has talked about that. So for all the talk you want to look at with the Saints running back rotation and the dynamic duo of him forming with Alvin Kamara, and maybe can you get more out of Devin Neal, and what's the future for Kendre Miller and whatnot, Travis Etienne, as long as he's healthy, and he's been healthy in his career, we just went through it, he's going to get the lion's share of the reps. In all 3 of his 1,000-yard seasons, he has gone over 220 carries. That doesn't count the receptions that he had to go along with that. You add those in, you're looking at right below or north of 300 touches in his seasons. So the durability is going to be huge, but man, really, how can he help you in the red zone? That is something that I'm very intrigued with, because I think he'll be fine inside, like in between the 20s. I think he'll really add a dimension to the Saints running game that hopefully takes it out of the cellar where it's been for the last few years, and we all know what that can open up for your offense. But Travis Etienne, 15 on Pro Football Focus's list of the top 32 running backs in the NFL, basically a ranking of your starter. His success is going to be a big part of the Saints offense's success, because it will open things up for Tyler Shuck and the receivers. I mean, it is just the Saints being better in the running game is as big of an emphasis for me as Tyler Shuck making the year 2 jump. It's huge. Travis Etienne, number 15 on Pro Football Focus's list of starting running backs in the NFL. All right, Sam Spiegelman, we'll get to him here momentarily, but first, AFR is brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake.
Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, as we say, together we roar. Part of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System. And, I love telling you about Our Lady of the Lake, because whenever we talk about healthcare, Our Lady of the Lake understands the 2 things primarily that people want are access and convenience. And they knock that out of the park. Whether it be at the Regional Medical Center, if it's the Lake After Hours, if it's any of the specialty services that you may need, heart, stroke, cancer, pediatrics, you want the best. You want Our Lady of the Lake. You can learn more about the Championship Health Partnership, OLOLRMC.com/LSU, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar.
All right, over the last couple of weeks, it seems like the situations for LSU in their pursuit of flipping 5-star wide receiver Easton Royal and number 1 player 5-star defensive lineman Jalen Brewster, seems like over the last couple of weeks, those have been kind of just evolving daily. Sam Spiegelman had a few updates over at Rivals from a national perspective. He's going to join us here next on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery, with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area: Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Don Moore, Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. You know those 4 locations, and what an awesome time to get by Clegg's Nursery, because they still have every single day shipments of flowers coming in, plants, trees, shrubs. You want to beautify the exterior of your home. You want to add that pop of color to your flower bed, to your patio pots. Maybe you got unwanted pests like ants or snakes or mosquitoes, wasps. They can help you take care of all of them. Maybe you got weeds coming up in your lawn. You want to get rid of that. Maybe you got dead spots in your lawn. The horticulturists, the professionals at Clegg's Nursery have the knowledge, the know-how, the expertise, and all the products you need to win Yard of the Month every month for your whole life. Guaranteed. Actually, I can't back that up. You have to do some of the work, too. It's Clegg's Nursery.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office protects and serves over 132,000 residents across the parish.
Keeping our community safe is our mission, and Rev Fiber plays a critical role in how we respond. Whether it's training in our special divisions, forensics investigations, or fielding emergency calls in our operations center, Rev Business connects our teams in real time, which is why we partner with Rev Business.
Get 6 months free of Rev Business Services. Call or click today.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Raising Cane's is honoring Chuck Norris on National Chicken Finger Day. For every box combo sold on July 27th, Cane's is donating $1 to Chuck's Foundation, Kickstart Kids.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing that, and taking those relationships and expanding out into the community, just to make First American a household name. And people look at us and say, hey, what's special about you guys? You're part of a family.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, well, we're on 5-star watch for LSU football. We're also on 5-star flip watch for LSU football. Of course, talking Easton Royal and Jalen Brewster. It seems like, man, for the last couple of weeks, there's almost been some type of development or update on those guys daily and the pursuit. Sam Spiegelman from Rivals on Twitter X at Sam Spiegs. He joins us now to talk about all of it. Sam, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
I can't complain, Matt. How you been?
I've been good, man. I've been good. It's been a good summer so far, and obviously the recruiting trail is keeping us plenty busy over here as we wait for the actual games to start again. Sam, let's start with the local prospect in Easton Royal. This one just, man, it feels like it's being played pretty close to the vest by Royals camp, Texas, LSU, and Florida. Of course, he's committed to Texas. What's kind of the latest you can tell us there with Easton Royal and where LSU stands in that commitment, in that recruitment, excuse me?
Yeah, you're not kidding. Talk about playing things close to the vest. This is a very small circle that Easton Royal has kept, and I don't think his mom or he fully knows where he is going to go at this point. I do expect Easton to have a decision in place as early as potentially this upcoming week. Obviously, it's Friday, so after the weekend, we are all on full Easton Royal watch, and I would be absolutely surprised if July came and went and Easton Royal didn't either shut down his recruitment with the Texas Longhorns or potentially flip to LSU. I do feel pretty confident based on the conversations I've had over the past week or two, saying that Florida is a distant third in this race, and this is largely a coin flip between the Longhorns and the Tigers. You're nitpicking if you're Easton Royal, the number one wide receiver in the country, You're looking at things like offensive fit, which both Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian have plenty of offensive backgrounds at their disposal. You're talking about NIL packages that are going to push for some of the highest numbers at the position for any wide receiver prospect in the 2027 class. That's about equal. Then it's about the opportunities that are available in Baton Rouge and in Austin. And, in Austin, you have a chance to potentially join a team that is on the door of knocking through and winning a national championship, or at LSU with Lane Kiffin coming in, join a roster where you would immediately have a chance to compete for playing time with the Tigers and potentially be a part of one of their national championship rosters, which for someone from New Orleans who grew up in Slidell, that's a big deal, and that's something that is weighing on Easton Royal at this point. I can say that as this winds down, there is some belief that Easton Royal might have one school in mind. There are some that maybe other people in his circle have another school in mind. I do expect them to come to some sort of agreement here pretty shortly. And from an NIL front and from a coaching recruiting standpoint, I could tell you, even if Easton Royal shuts his recruitment down, this is someone that Lane Kiffin, that General Manager Billy Glasscock, that a lot of people in that building want to see in the purple and gold. This is an offensive-minded coach bringing in one of the most high-octane offenses in the country. The number one player in the state is also a wide receiver and could be the face of that movement. LSU is not going to be shy with the resources they have to do everything they can to keep Easton Royal inside Louisiana.
Sam, you might have just answered it, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Does LSU's pursuit, however real or not it may be, of Monsoon Sales, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, have any impact on Easton Royal's decision?
Absolutely, and the same goes for Texas. Texas is probably higher on Moonshine Sales' leaderboard right now than LSU is. In fact, I would probably say Indiana and Texas are both ahead of LSU for Moonshine Sales. Now, there's a recruiting aspect. There's only a few uncommitted players left in the country, and there's only a few like Easton Royal, and I know a few more that we'll talk about soon, Matt, that are still potentially on flip watch, because once these NIL contracts are solidified, the chances of a flip go from very, very low to even lesser. I would say, LSU has had some really great talks with Moonshine Sales' representation in the last week, for sure. And if LSU feels that they are losing ground to Texas in their pursuit of flipping him, they are going to pony up and try to pay more and make a more aggressive push for Moonshine Sales. Right now, their preference is, of course, to keep Easton Royal inside the state, even though it's LSU and there are national brands. Matt, you know that they love to keep their homegrown players in state, and they have obviously been working hard as anyone for Easton Royal since Lane Kiffin and Billy Glasscock arrived in Baton Rouge. But if they start to slip ground, I would not be surprised if LSU suddenly leapfrog Texas to give Indiana a run for Sales, who should have a decision also within the next 8, 10, 12 days.
Sam Spiegelman is our guest, Rivals national recruiting analyst. You can get him on Twitter X at Sam Speaks. Sam, let's now talk Jalen Brewster because, look, you're closer to this than us, but kind of reading the tea leaves, it feels like LSU has really, really picked up steam here with Jalen Brewster ever since his official visit to Baton Rouge. And, you tell me, but it kind of feels like you're hearing more about LSU than you are him flipping to LSU than you are him staying committed to Texas Tech.
You know what? It's much like Easton Royal. It depends on who you speak to and at what point in the day, Matt. This is a very fluid recruitment, but I do agree with you. Last week at this time, I would have told you that I would have put maybe 60 to 65% chance that he would end up just sticking with Texas Tech. And there was also speculation that, it's almost Friday at happy hour time, Matt, that by this time this week, he was expected to potentially shut down his recruitment, and that did not come to fruition. From the conversations that I've had with people in Lubbock and also in Baton Rouge, with Jalen's representation and people inside his circle, the only team left standing in this race to flip him away from the Red Raiders are the LSU Tigers. You are spot on. Since that official visit, LSU has continued to surge with the number one player in the country. Ed Orgeron, unsurprisingly, is a huge reason why. And also, the other thing I've heard is, and not to take anything away from Texas Tech, which are probably going to repeat as Big 12 champs and have a spot in the college football playoff. But LSU, with its history of branding and helping personalities prosper in this NIL world with the opportunities outside of football, you can list the number of athletes that have seen their brand grow exponentially while at LSU. And Jalen Brewster and his circle are very cognizant of that element as the number one player in the country, the number one defensive lineman in the country, and a chance to play for probably one of the most respected defensive coordinators in the country, in Blake Baker, one of the most prominent defensive line coaches in the country, and Sterling Lucas, and of course, Ed O, who delivered LSU that national championship not too long ago. I have also heard, much like Easton, that there is some discrepancy within the Brewster's camp, that some people are a little bit more fond of the Tigers. Some are still leaning toward Texas Tech, but I can say this with some certainty: the longer this recruitment lingers and Jalen does not put a cap on his recruitment, the better I think it serves LSU in their attempt to flip him. And I'm not shy saying that this has gotten way tighter over the last few days.
So with Easton Royal, we mentioned potentially having a decision in the next few weeks. Could the same be said for Jalen Brewster? Because, I mean, he was already supposed to shut it down once and hasn't. I mean, is he close to maybe making a choice here?
Oh, yeah, just as close as Easton, if not closer. We are on Jalen Brewster watch 24/7 at this point. A decision has been expected. I know that I don't think that they have come to a consensus just yet, but when they make that decision, it's going to be well known. And I expect that, again, this is going to be in the next few days, at a week. And the longer this goes, the better I believe it favors LSU.
Sam, let's talk about, I guess, a flip candidate, but flipping away from LSU in a sense. 5-star tight end commit Ahmad Hudson. You spoke with him earlier this week, and he reaffirmed his commitment to LSU, but stopped short of shutting down his recruitment. What sense did you get of how strong his commitment currently is to LSU?
Yeah, listen, Ahmad Hudson is very careful with his wording on this, and he did not want to pick a pin in his recruitment and say things are completely done. But from the outside looking in, I can all but assure you that Ahmad Hudson is going to be an LSU Tiger when he's ready to sign on the dotted line in December. He didn't accidentally commit to the Tigers in May, about 2 months earlier than he originally wanted to. Once Lane Kiffin, Charlie Weiss Jr., and Joe Cox arrived in Baton Rouge in December, they started to get going on this 2027 class, and Ahmad Hudson was one of the players that they zeroed in on. They actually had him in Oxford in November, right before they took the job at LSU, and it really started around then as they were considering moving to Baton Rouge. Getting the commitment in May, of course, felt like, okay, this recruitment is done for LSU. They can keep the number one tight end in the country in state. Don't worry about the Nebraskas and A&Ms of the world. But I know of course, everyone knows he went to Nebraska last month, and Ahmad loves his relationships with some of those coaches. Matt Rule, as a head coach, has been extremely involved in recruiting this tight end from Ruston, Louisiana, and their director of recruiting, Keith Williams, who does a fantastic job over there, has really just stayed on Ahmad, talking about, new positions in their offense and, of course, the multi-sport element. But I can assure you, from speaking to people in Hudson's camp, from speaking to sources who I trust very much in LSU's building, this is about as done of a recruitment as it gets. He made that visit out of respect to Nebraska. He, of course, returned to LSU. He has left the door open to make another visit to Nebraska. But, Matt, I don't expect that to take place, barring some sort of astronomical shakeup in Baton Rouge in the next couple of months. I don't see him flipping. I don't see him really returning to Nebraska. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed in recruiting, but like I said, he didn't accidentally commit to LSU in May. They focused all of their efforts from Lane Kiffin to Will Wade to the basketball side to the family element of having a younger brother in the 2030 class who's going to be a stud when his time rolls around. The Ahmad Hudson and his family feel great about the 5-star tight end continuing that family legacy in Baton Rouge.
Last one for you, Sam. Your time very much appreciated. All right, well, you kind of just answered a third of the next question. Ahmad Hudson's in. That's great. I won't hold you to this, but I am just curious. LSU got a real shot to get all three of them? Brewster, Royal, and, Hudson, obviously?
Absolutely. And I think at this point, I think it's the percentages are as high as they can be. I mean, LSU with an in-state prospect like Easton Royal, if LSU is having an exciting season and he gets invited to a game in October in Tiger Stadium at night, Easton Royal is going to have a real hard decision to make if he is still committed to the Longhorns and LSU wants him on campus. This staff has worked him so hard as an in-state kid, or appealing to him, to his family. Of course, the ability to be by his school so much this spring and get him on campus, I believe 5 or 6 times in the spring, and then for his official visit. I think LSU is the favorite to flip Easton Royal. As I mentioned earlier, they're the only team giving Texas Tech any run for Jalen Brewster. I mean, there was a time where Florida was a real team involved, where Indiana, where Texas A&M and Ohio State were swinging away at Jalen Brewster. But at this point, the only other person at the table are the LSU Tigers. And by the way, Ed Orgeron is on that ship. So anytime Ed Orgeron is recruiting, you know that the Tigers have a shot. Yeah. And then with Ahmad Hudson, not to be redundant, but I consider this recruitment to be all but finished. Even though he won't publicly shut things down, there's a lot of kids around the country, kids that are committed to LSU or Texas Tech or, you name it, that say that their recruitment is not shut down. But so long that he doesn't make any more visits outside of Baton Rouge, there's no reason to worry about Ahmad Hudson and his position with the Tigers.
He's Sam Spiegelman, national recruiting analyst over at Rivals. Get him on Twitter X at Sam Spiegs. Always generous with his time. Sam, we appreciate it, man, and we'll talk down the road.
Yep. Have a good weekend, Matt.
You do the very same. Sam Spiegelman again from Rivals. How about that, man? If that gets you fired up for what could be coming down the pike here in a couple weeks for LSU football recruiting, I mean, I don't know what does. Now, again, Sam said it changes by the day. Depending on with Brewster and Royal and depending on who you talk to and even at what time of the day. But, yeah, that's why, we had Shea on Tuesday. But you heard Sam there with Jalen Brewster just in the last couple of days. Even LSU seems to have picked up a little bit more steam as has that recruitment. So it's ever-changing, man. And who knows, maybe we get some news next week there. But very much appreciate Sam for hopping on. AFR, we are brought to you by Evermore.
Brought to you by Evermore. Drink Evermore, EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com. For elite athletes, for someone who just wants a healthier lifestyle. Maybe you're a parent, you want a healthier option for your children. Evermore is a great option. I would highly encourage you, bottom line, if you're drinking tap water, don't. Bare minimum, filter your tap water. But the best option is Evermore. This is natural artesian water. It's underground aquifers on the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain, right there in Covington. They dug a well into that aquifer, and, I mean, it's literally thousands of years in the making. That's why they call it Mother Nature's masterpiece. That's what they're pulling out of the ground. The only filtration is take, the sediment from the ground out of the water, and it goes right into the bottle. So it never touches air until you uncap it, take that first delicious sip. Learn more. Where you can buy it, great retailers or online, EVAMOR, evermore.com.
All right, we will grab a break, come back on the other side. We'll close out hour number 2 with Tigers in the Pros. Still got a whole full hour of the show left. Chris Marler still going to jump aboard with us as well. Kick around a few college football topics there with Marler. But Tigers in the Pros closes out hour number 2 next here on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, do what injured people in Louisiana have done for more than 30 years. Call Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. 888-8888. It's all 8s. 888-8888. I don't even need to give you the area code because no matter where you are in the state, it doesn't matter. Just dial 888-8888 for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Gordon does an awesome job, man. He's a great person. They've been so invested in our communities with all the charitable and service work that they do. They give back into the communities that they represent, no matter what time of year. If it's the bike giveaway for kids around Christmas time, if it's the laptop giveaway around back to school time, if it's the charitable work they do during October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, they're always involved in the community. We tell you all the time, of course, about the G team and what Gordon's done with NIL and the opportunities that he's afforded student athletes. Just a great, great community partner. If you've been injured, you need representation, go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season, and we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
Here on the Gulf Coast, a wave says a lot. It says hello. It says thanks. It says we care. Shouldn't banking feel the same way? A friendly wave. A familiar face. Backed by all the convenient tools you need to make banking a breeze. We're Gulf Coast Bank and Trust. Give us a wave and coast into better banking.
What you're looking for.
Another roof gone too soon. Looks like neglect. There's no doubt about it. This is a case of poor installation. At Pelican Roofing, we don't guess. We investigate to find the real cause of your roof's problems. Call Pelican Roofing for your free roof investigation today. Case closed.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless.
Love telling you about River Parish Contractors. rpcontractors.com is the website if you're looking for work, or you may not even know you're looking for work. River Parish Contractors, you need to make this call. Call Big Jake over at River Parish Contractors because they got tons of work lined up. So you want overtime? They got as much overtime as you want. So you never have to. A lot of places want to hire, give you a good rate, but they don't want you to work overtime. Not at River Parish Contractors. They got as much overtime as you want to work. You want to work night shifts when it's cooler? You could do that. You want to work day shifts? Got it. Look, there's no rainouts. They have amazing benefits. They've got PTO. If you're a welder, pipe fitter, pipe cutter, you got to get in touch with my friends over at River Parish Contractors. Call Big Jake or go to rpcontractors.com, rpcontractors.com. Right there in reserve, River Parish Contractors, rpcontractors.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Moving right along here, AFR on a Friday, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Closing out hour number 2 of the show. We do so with Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, Tigers in the Pros. Alex Bregman battled through a tough night at the plate against the Cubs, lost to the Orioles last night, finishing 0 for 3 at the plate, 1 walk, and Bregman reached base just once. The Cubs do face off against the Reds tonight in Cincinnati at 6:10 p.m. Dylan Cruz and the Nationals wrapped up their 3-game series earlier this week in Houston. They won that series 2-1. Dylan Cruz went 1 for 9 at the plate. 1 hit, but only 2 strikeouts.
Hey, all right. Putting the ball in play.
Ball in play.
Love that.
Yep. Cruz will get the start again tonight against the Yankees. First pitch is at 6:45 p.m.
Big series coming up for Cruz. The Yankees stink.
Yeah. Flauget and Angel faced off for the second time in their WNBA careers last night. The Atlanta Dream got their get-back on the Seattle Storm. Angel Reese put up 18 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, making that her 64th double-double in her WNBA career.
Man. Stud.
Yeah. And Flaugier put up 14 points, 2 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Both of them, man. Dominant. Did we have any more drama in the handshake line last night? Do we know? I didn't see anything.
I don't believe so.
Oh, man.
I think it was firm handshake.
That and probably just keep the distance type thing there.
Yeah.
That's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
Well, that's all I got for you for Tigers in the Pros.
Thank you, Luke. Appreciate that. 2 hours in the books here, just about on AFR. Don Juan Cigar Bar brings you the Friday shows, as we mention often. Musso here in for Moscona. 1 more hour to go here in the week. It's been a pretty good week, actually, here on AFR. So we'll grab a break. SportsCenter will get you caught up on your national headlines. We'll come back on to the other side. Kick off hour number 3. Derek Carr. Yes, that Derek Carr. He's at a microphone again, talking about a potential NFL return, and he did have some really great things to say about Tyler Shuck. So we'll talk about all of that next here to kick off hour number 3 of a Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
AFR.
Summer is here. Maybe you're looking to upgrade that ride before the family road trip. Get on by South Point Volkswagen, airline just north of Highland, or online at southpointvw.com. Southpointvw.com. Told you for years, they are Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. Maybe you need that full-size family SUV. Make sure you go test drive the Atlas. That's what Erica drives. It's the 3-row, 7-seater family SUV. Tons of space to accommodate our family, all our bags, all the beach stuff as well. Go test drive one today at South Point Volkswagen. Remember, you can shop them online, new and certified pre-owned. So if you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, great selection. Say it all the time. They're the largest volume Volkswagen dealer. They move more new inventory, so they have more pre-owned trade-in inventory as well. So make sure you shop their pre-owned vehicles over at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
I'm Sean Ryder. Spain scores a very late goal to knock out Belgium 2-1 today in the World Cup quarterfinals to advance to a semifinal match against France on Tuesday. Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani will not play in Tuesday's All-Star game with a sore left knee. The final weekend of Major League Baseball before the break, and the trade deadline is on August 3rd. One of the big questions is, will the Tigers deal ace Tarek Skubal? MLB senior writer for The Athletic, Andy McCullough.
They seem to be completely dead in the water, but they've, won 5 in a row. I think like 8 of their last 10, 8 of their last 11, something like that. They know their division is not particularly strong. And there might be a case to be made that you want to try and maximize Tarek Skubal.
Eddie McCullough on the Rich Eisen Show. This just in. Heat big man Bam Adebayo and Bucks guard Tyler Hero, former teammates, get into a physical altercation today in Las Vegas, in which Adebayo struck Hero. Sources telling this to ESPN's Shams Charania.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Off and running, hour number 3. After further review, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Musso in for Moscona. Final hour of the week. Scone, he'll be back on Monday, all rested, rejuvenated, and ready to go, as we'll be 1 week away from SEC football media days. Luke Foster, Paul O'Neill along for the ride, and we're fired up to have you along for the ride here as well. Again, maybe you're just punching out of work, getting in your car, turning on the radio, making us part of your day and your commute. We appreciate that very, very much, and glad we can carry you into your weekend. Couple different things here to get to in this hour. Chris Marler, LouisianaSports.net. He'll be with us in about, call it 13 or so minutes. Derek Carr was on Good Morning Football here on Friday because shows keep asking Derek Carr to come on, and he's just not going to say no. He was asked a couple different things. Obviously, one of them was about a return, which we'll get to, because that actually, the way he kind of worded his answer is interesting in a sense for the New Orleans Saints. We'll talk about that. And he did also have some pretty good things to say about Tyler Shuck. He was asked about Tyler Shuck and Fernando Mendoza. He gave answers on each. Obviously, we just we'll take the one about Tyler Shuck. Let's start though with just the latest rendition of Derek Carr being asked, "Hey man, you gonna play football again?"
Your insights are beautiful, but some people love watching you play football. You got anything to speak to the people about whether or not they'll see you in pads again?
I'll never say never. It would take a special situation. There's multiple teams that reached out to me this offseason, and I won't say who or how, but they reached out and was, just gauging my interest on, what I wanted to do and all those things. And they were, good, solid football teams, but a couple of them in some different situations. I think I'm just at the point where I just want to win, man. I want to win, and I want to do those things. And so if I were to do it, it would have to be a special team, that maybe lost somebody or needed somebody. But even then, it's not guaranteed. I'm having too much fun hanging out with my wife, hanging out with my kids, and trying to get good at golf. So it would take a special deal, but I'm always training. I got 4 boys that can't beat me up when they're 18. So I got to keep training. So I'll be in shape and ready, but probably not. I'll probably be just coaching my kids. That's for sure.
A couple things. Number one, the special team. I mean, that's not multiple instances that Derek Carr's basically said. I mean, what he's alluding to there is he wants to go to a contender. And if you're a contender, you have your quarterback. I mean, and if you, for some reason you're not looking to sign Derek Carr in free agency, who's just been a middle-of-the-pack quarterback in his NFL career. Serviceable NFL starter. He's had some really good moments, some good seasons. He's just never really been that top-tier NFL quarterback that you would look to be on a contender. I think his path back to the NFL would be if one of those teams, and if he was their option, did lose a starting quarterback, and he alluded to that. But what complicates that even more is he's still under contract with the New Orleans Saints. So say Matthew Stafford gets injured this year, or the Rams are like the biggest Super Bowl contender there is. Josh Allen, say one of those teams gonna, first of all, can they? They'd have to be like, man, Derek Carr's our best option. Let's go there. Which I think you could see potential for other free agents maybe there. But anyway, let's say they do settle on Derek Carr. Are they willing to give the Saints draft compensation or trade asset? Because I mean, the Saints are going to want compensation for that. He's under contract with them still. That's kind of the other issue that he faces. That, and he's been a middle of the road team, a middle of the road quarterback his entire career. The other part of that that's interesting is when he talked about the teams reaching out and that he's not gonna tell you who or how, which, by the way, is just the most canned Derek Carr phrase ever. Like, if that's the one thing I learned going through all his press conferences and whatnot when he was the Saints quarterback, is that man loves to tell you he had a conversation, but he's not going to tell you what it's about or the specifics, and then chuckle after. Like, he does that every time he's in front of a microphone. So it's just like the most canned Derek Carr phrase. But anyway, it's interesting he did phrase it that way because he's under contract with the Saints, as we just discussed, with, the Saints probably wanting, compensation or whatnot if he is to go to another team and come out of retirement. But him being under contract means teams who reach out to him would also have to reach out to the Saints for permission. And him saying teams have reached out, I'm not going to tell you who or how, leads you to speculate a little bit. Now, because obviously, that would mean tampering if they didn't reach out to the Saints for permission. But we're not going to speculate, mainly because nothing's going to come of that unless Derek Carr returns. And if Derek Carr were to return, the Saints they'd seek compensation, as we've said, and then, only then, could a potential investigation be opened there. But it was just interesting to hear him say it the way that he did. He was also asked about Tyler Shuck, though, and what the Saints have now in their second-year starting quarterback.
Let's stick to football. I want you to dissect something for me. Your two former teams. You have two young quarterbacks, Tyler Shuck and Fernando Mendoza. What impresses you about these two young quarterbacks?
Shuck, he came in and he was already just so mature. Obviously he was a little older than the guys coming in. He's been through life. He's had some adversity that he's gone through, and you can tell, man, he came in and was ready to ball. Just such a good, humble guy. And I'm happy for the city of New Orleans, man, that they got a good young quarterback to be able to throw those good young receivers. And he's a great person, and he's leading them. And I just think, I always go above the talent. You got to have the talent, obviously, and obviously he does. But it's just the way he carries himself. He's very confident. And with a young coach in Kellen, anytime your head coach is the play caller, that's a good thing for a young quarterback too.
So high praise there, man, for, ultimately his replacement in New Orleans in a sense. And, good to hear because, heck, you'll remember, Derek Carr was retired by the time the Saints drafted Tyler Shuck, so they never crossed paths. Kellen Moore Kellen Moore said in one of his presentations that he never met with Derek Carr. So all those wheels were really in motion before Moore was officially hired, before Shuck was drafted. But, he's right in everything that he said about Tyler Shuck. The veteran aspect has really helped him. I think that's why you look at a guy like Shuck who came in with the injury history that he did, and he was able to just put that all aside, focus on football, be himself, and in doing so, at first lose out in a quarterback competition, but be mature enough to stay ready, knowing that his time would come, And when he did, I mean, he took the job and ran with it. I mean, to the point now where, you know, I mean, that's ultimately what you wanted to see from Tyler Shough year one when he finally got his opportunity, was for him to take hold of the job, leave no doubt, and be able to go into this offseason as the starting quarterback, which he's done. So, I mean, that's fantastic. Again, good to hear Derek Carr be supportive of that and whatnot, and say he's happy for the city of New Orleans and whatnot. It was messy the way all that ended. I think it ended in the best way possible, though, ultimately now, because you look like you have your quarterback of the future with Tyler Shough. And year one to year two, it's the biggest jump. But his year one to year two is a little different because he didn't even get a full year last year. So in a sense, I mean, you know, this is still part of his first year, but he has had a offseason full of studying, and now studying his own film and looking at things that he can correct. He posted a video the other day of him throwing in the indoor facility at the University of Oregon. So, of course, where he spent some of his college career. So, I mean, the work doesn't stop there for Tyler Shough, and he's potentially got a great opportunity here to really. He grabbed hold of the job, left no doubt that he's going to get a full season to start here. Now it's up to him to grab hold of that and show that he is the quarterback of the future in the franchise for the New Orleans Saints. All right, it's after further review here on a Friday, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We're brought to you also by First South Farm Credit.
We're running about First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit, firstsouthfarmcredit.com, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. Hey, remember, always encourage you to go to the website, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. If you're a farmer, no doubt you know about First South Farm Credit because they've been helping farmers buy agriculture land for more than 100 years. But if it's maybe it's that hunting property, maybe it's just your recreational property in Mississippi, maybe you want to go buy a ranch in Montana. They can help you buy land anywhere in the lower 48. Buying land is different than buying a home. You know that. So trust the people who have helped Louisianans buy land for more than 100 years. First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthfarmcredit.com, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. One more time, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit.
All right, we'll grab a break, roll along here on a Friday show. Chris Marler, LouisianaSports.net. Marler's going to hop on with us. We'll talk some college football. He wrote a couple different pieces about the preseason poll for FPI over at ESPN that was released yesterday. So we'll definitely kick that around with him as he doesn't seem to like FPI very much. So we'll ask Marler about that here when he's with us next on AFR.
After further review.
Buying or selling, commercial or residential, think real estate, think Darren James. You want an unbelievable customer service experience? You want Darren James. It's part of his core values for Darren and his team. Darren tells me all the time, as long as I've known Darren, he said, my goal one day is to put myself out of business. I want to create such a turnkey, seamless, easy process for people to be able to buy and sell homes that they don't even need me anymore. Well, as Darren continues on that path in the meantime, he's going to help you sell your home. So if you need to sell your home, you want a realtor that quite literally sells more homes than anyone, you want Darren James. Last year, Wall Street Journal is listed the top 1% of realtors in America, Darren James. So need to sell your home fast for the most amount of money? You need Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Raising Cane's is honoring Chuck Norris on National Chicken Finger Day. For every box combo sold on July 27th, Cane's is donating $1 to Chuck's Foundation, Kickstart Kids.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hey everybody, Drew Brees here. Over the years, I've learned that the best teams are built on trust, preparation, and doing things the right way. That's one of the reasons I'm excited to announce that the Breeze Dream Foundation and I are partnering with Parish Construction and Roofing. Together, we are committed to helping families prepare for hurricane season. That's why Parish Construction and Roofing, the Breeze Dream Foundation, and WAFB are partnering to provide one capital area family with a brand new fortified roof. Visit WAFB.com/contest to enter the giveaway and view official rules and eligibility requirements. Because stronger homes build stronger communities.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Rolling along here after Further Review, hour 3 here on a Friday. We're so close to the weekend, you can taste it. Before we get there, we have more college football to talk. Chris Marler, LouisianaSports.net. You know him. You love him. On Twitter, X, at Vern Funquist, CFB. Marler, how's it going?
Fantastic. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a good week here on the show. Summer. Been a good summer. We've had a good show so far. All right. I was talking to you earlier, and I'm like, well, what do you kind of want to talk about? And you said you wrote a hit piece on FPI. So why do you hate the FPI?
No, I was mainly joking with the FPI. I think that every year we do this whole thing with the ESPN FPI rankings, and we overreact to them. And part of it's because, it's what we do best on social media, and media is we overreact and have to react to stuff in general. But the FPI stuff, if you want to lose your mind over it, lose your mind over the rankings for sure. Like I'm totally fine with that. The numbers all indicate that they're very flawed, but I think all top 25s are flawed. Every year we see a top 10 team that ends up unranked. The last 2 years, I think 12 of the 25 teams in the ESPN FPI initial top 25 have gone unranked. Personally, and my allegiances growing up, it's tough for me to say, but the first indicator, anytime someone brings the FPI, the first thing I think of is Alabama was ranked ahead of LSU in 2019 at 2 versus them being at 3, and they were ranked there for 2 straight weeks after LSU beat them.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of just a waste of breath to be upset about the rankings. I don't think those go into the actual CFP decisions, but strength of schedule does.
Yeah, the strength of schedule rankings were certainly interesting as well because, there's one team not in the SEC out in the top 11 or whatever, and it was Ohio State, so something along those lines. It's, I'll tell you my gripe. I went on a whole deal about this yesterday. It just made me angry over Notre Dame, because they're all in the the highly ranked part of it, and their schedule's a joke. They're getting the college football playoff off of that because their stupid little clause that they have, and they don't deserve to be in the college football playoff when they play like one good team all year. But anyway,
right.
I don't need to go through that all the way. Okay, well, so that's your SEC bias portion of it. What did you think FPI got right with this preseason ranking here?
I think the top 5 are going to be the same always, and I think they also got it right there. I think that I don't know about Ohio State being number 1, but I do think that Texas and Oregon and the Georgias of the world are going to be there every single year. I think Notre Dame, honestly, if we're doing this based off of who should be where and where they're going to end up, it's hard for me to imagine Notre Dame not being number 1 at the end of the year with the schedule that they have in front of them. So that part, I think, is the weird part for me. I think that, like, they're going to get stuff right. The concern I would have if you're an SEC fan or if you're talking about the inaccuracies of this thing, it's not in the top 10. The top 10, they get pretty good every single year. They get that one pretty well. Now, like I said earlier, there's a top 10 team that's always left out of there, or a top 10 team that's usually unranked at the end of the year. For me, that's Alabama. Them being an 8 with everything they have in the turnover, that feels crazy to me.
Yeah.
But the bigger thing for the SEC especially is you've got the teams ranked 11 through 25. In the last 2 years, you've had 13 teams in the SEC ranked in 11 through 25. Only 3 have ended up ranked at the end of the year, and Ole Miss was 2 of them. So that, for me, is where I get like, oh, that's like Arkansas being at 22 last year and going 2-10. That's pretty damning to the argument about the SEC and bias.
Poor Arkansas, man. Their schedule is always just they open up with Utah this year on the road in Rice Eccles. Oh, Arkansas. They must have absolutely just I don't know whose Cheerios they peed in, man, but goodness gracious. All right, that's FPI. We can put that on the back burner. Let's talk a little bit more SEC because when the week turns to Monday, we're going to be 1 week away from SEC football media days, and I kind of want to talk to you a little bit about that. I mean, it's a 4-day event. We know that, but every year there's always a team that comes out of there with so much hype that maybe wasn't going in, whether because the coach is great on the mic and, he just was able to sell the vision and you take a step back and you weren't really watching them and you're like, wait a minute, they actually have a lot more in their team. They had a great offseason and they come out of it with a bunch of hype and then they let everybody down. Who's the team this year that you think that could maybe fool some people in the SEC that way, where we come out of media days like, wait a minute, look out for Team X, and then Team X, goes like 7-5?
I mean, this is a lame answer. First of all, I think it's Ole Miss.
Okay.
And then in a Team A, Team B, I would say Missouri's the other one. Missouri, you want them to be good because you like Eli Drinkwitz. He's going to be the most entertaining person on the mic all week, including Kiffin. Ahmad Hardy's back. They got a good offensive line back, but they lost their top receiver. They got a new quarterback starting, and then they lost like 43% of their edge rush production, which was the key to their team last year. I look at Ole Miss, and I don't see what everyone else sees. I mean, Trinidad Chambliss is great. Kewan Lacey is great. I don't know if that's enough to kind of get over all of the other things they lost on offense and not just players. I mean, the main thing is you lost. We heard this whole argument about Trinidad going into the playoff last year. Like, well, yeah, sure, Kiffin found him, but, like, he's not calling the plays. It's like, who's calling the plays, guys? Charlie West Jr., well, guess what, guys? He's gone too. Yeah. So I think that Golding is going to be a really good coach in this league, and they're going to be a top 5 or 6 team in the conference every year moving forward because he gets it. He's going to be good at the CEO portion of it. He coached under Saban. He's going to really hone in on getting like the highly ranked recruits, and they're going to spend in the portal and all that stuff. But this year, I just have a hard time thinking they're going to be that much better than that schedule. And then, getting the LSU game, guys, they got to go to the Swamp the week after that, which is a tricky game on the road. Then you still get Texas, you get Georgia, you get one of those at home. But I don't think that's necessarily easy. And there's a lot of, Oklahoma comes to town. Like there's a lot of teams on that schedule that I think they are going to lose to. And then the big thing I have is every single first-year head coach that comes to this conference, whether it's Saban or Kirby Smart or whoever, they usually have some inexplicable loss in year one. It just happens almost every single time. And I think that getting to 8-4 with that schedule would be a really just hell of a job from Pete Golding. But I look at the rest of the schedule and think like, where is he going to escape the weekend where he didn't have everybody up in focus? Because remember, also there's only one bye week this year. There's not two. And when is he going to be able to get through that entire 12-game schedule and a 9-game conference schedule and have everyone focused each and every week where there's no lapse in preparation or anything like that in a week where they should win and don't? And the way that schedule is bookended, man. I mean, Mississippi State and Louisville, I don't know. I think Ole Miss should be better than them. I don't know if we're talking enough about Louisville upsetting them in week 1.
Boy, that would oh man. That would that'd shake some trees over there in Oxford for sure if that were to happen, if they drop game 1 to Louisville. Chris Marler's our guest, LouisianaSports.net, on Twitter, X, @Vern_FunQuest. All right, on the flip side, Marler, who's the team in the SEC that we're not talking enough about?
Alabama, always. No,
Oh,
I'm kidding.
Lord.
It is not that. I will tell you.
Austin Mack, baby. Austin Mack. Here we go.
It's going to be Keelan Russell for
Austin
sure.
Mack,
I do not
brother.
think it's Alabama. They're so thin up front. I wish I could be that thin, Musso. That's my goal weight is Alabama's trenches. They could not be thinner. I think the team that we're going to be talking more about in a positive way is either Oklahoma, one, but we're already kind of talking about them, and I think that they're, the closer this thing gets to the season, the more I believe in them and the tier going into year 2. I'm going to tell you right now, and everyone's going to roll their eyes, and with good reason. I was around last year. I remember watching it firsthand. South Carolina is going to be a dangerous team this year. With Lenora Sellers and the offensive line, I say it every year, but hopefully this year it's right. It can't get any worse, I wouldn't think. You went out and got Jacarius Peak, who was ranked ahead of Jordan Seaton in the transfer portal to kind of bolster the left tackle position. The receiver should be better. The running back should be better. Oh, by the way, they got rid of Mike Shula. So here's a fun fact for you, Musso. Remember in the LSU game last year when he had the 72-yard touchdown run to go up 7-3?
I do.
He didn't get a single touch the rest of the first half. That's what Mike Shula was doing in that offense. He's gone, thank God. Kendall Briles takes over for him. And then that defense, man, they're always going to be good in the secondary. They've led the SEC in turnovers for the last 5 years with 110 total. The linebacking core returns. They have the best edge rusher in the country. They got a 5-star freshman on the other end, Julian Walker. And that interior of the defensive line is very deep and very talented, and they are built a lot more like 2024. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. The schedule's not easy.
Schedule's tough.
But I think it's the easiest schedule they've had in the last 5 years. And I think you get 7 out of your 10 Power 4 opponents with a first-year starter at quarterback, and almost every single one of those is a freshman. And so I really think you look at their schedule, I think they don't have Texas. They don't have LSU. You can say they have Bama, but they should have beaten Bama the past 2 years in a row. Mm-hmm. They get A&M at home. I think there's 2 games on that schedule, Georgia and Oklahoma, that are losses, and the rest of them I think they're going to compete in. I think they're going to be a lot better than people think.
Shane Beamer needs it. I'll tell you that much, because, I think it's safe to say that he's squarely on the hot seat. He said it himself, actually, the other day. Yeah. He acknowledged that he's on the hot seat, so he definitely needs it. All right, South Carolina. There's a lot of teams to pick from. I know a lot of people are high on Kentucky with Will Stein in his first year. I'm not quite there. God. I'm not quite there yet, but they have had an interesting offseason. All right, so that's your team that could let down, your team that we're not talking about enough. One more for you, and I'll let you go. Thing you're most excited about for at SEC Football Media Days here in a week's time?
Having a beer with Hud Palmer. That guy.
Look at that.
Listen to him talk about his. Listen, last year I was still living in Atlanta. I was working with LSU and ESPN, and I was so excited to meet Hunt because I think he does great work. I think everyone that we work with does great work. And I sat down. I was like, I'm going to get to learn about Hunt tonight. First question. I didn't have him written down, but I did not have him written down. And I was like, what's your favorite movie? He's like, I don't really watch movies.
Yeah.
I was like, sick. What's your favorite band? He's like, Goo Goo Dolls. Mm-hmm. I was like, anything else? He's like, pretty much that's it. And I was like, you want to talk about Iran? What do we do now? We just sit here for the next 3 hours? And so I'm very excited now that he's my office mate up there on the 4th floor. I'm excited for that. And I'm also just excited to see, what Tampa looks like. And it's the first time going there. It should be hot as hell, but a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, for sure. And look, and they've done their best to make sure that everyone stays for all 4 days this year with putting LSU in Texas.
Man.
putting LSU and Texas on the last thing. I mean, look, Marler, you've been to that event plenty. It's a ghost town in there afternoon on Thursday. So maybe not this week. Chris,
let me tell you right now, them in Nashville deciding to have it in Nashville, which is just there's nothing to do but drink and do karaoke there in that town. And
you say that like it's a bad thing.
For them, it was definitely not a bad thing, but it was a bad thing Thursday morning when it was like, all right, guys, final day. We've got Auburn, Vandy, Arkansas, and like Mississippi State. And it's like, this sucks. This is terrible.
That's brutal.
So that was, I don't think they're going to have you repeat to that.
No, surely they won't. At least not. We'll see. I mean, change everybody's travel plans. I know that. Chris Marler, LouisianaSports.net. He'll be boots on the ground, obviously, over there in Tampa for SEC Media Days. A whole week of lead-up coverage next week as well. So get over to LouisianaSports.net. Read all of his stuff. Follow him on Twitter, X, at Vern_FunQuest. Marler, we appreciate it as always, man. Thank you, and we'll talk soon.
Sounds good, brother.
Later. That is Chris Marler. This is After Further Review here on a Friday. We are brought to you by, I forgot what I had you queue up. Arco. We're brought to you by Arco.
Love telling you about Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com. That's Arco Power Systems. We talk about generators a lot in Louisiana, especially all along the Gulf Coast, where we're sort of in this storm belt right here in the Gulf Coast. Well, of course, a lot of people have home standby generators. When we talk about Arco Power Systems, these are not home standby generators. This is industrial generator power. This is for your business. I mean, just think about it. When the power goes out, be it a hurricane, an ice storm, snow like we had last year, power goes out. What do you do with your business? Well, being offline is not an option. That's why you need Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, arco.com. Just look at all the locations. Baton Rouge, Bossier, Harvey, Lake Charles, Mandeville, Mobile, LaPorte, Texas, San Antonio, Little Rock, Houston, Dallas. They're everywhere. So if you're a business and you need standby power for your business, you need Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, arco.com.
All right, we're going to grab a break. We'll come back on the other side. And another little Saints nugget that I want to throw out for you. One player that could make all the difference, potentially, for the back end of the New Orleans Saints defense. We'll talk about that next here when we continue on a Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
After further review.
Let's Rev, R-E-V, letsrev.com, letsrev.com. You ever just get super frustrated at super slow internet? Oh, we've all been there, man. The little spinning wheel, slamming your keyboard or your mouse, pounding the desk because it's so frustrating. Your internet's so slow. Storm comes, knocks the power out, knocks the internet out, knocks the cable out. You're so frustrated. Maybe that's just me because I get kind of angry about things. But it's annoying. Nobody wants that to happen. Rev can help. They're local and 5 gigs, lightning fast speeds, and backed by an all-fiber network. Fiber. It's buried under the ground. I mean, you don't have to worry about a storm coming knocking the power lines down. Let's Rev. Listen, more than 70,000 Louisiana homeowners and business owners trust Rev. You should as well. REV. 90 years of local experience. Let'sRev.com. Let'sRev.com.
I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing that, and taking those relationships and expanding out into the community, just to make First American a household name. And people look at us and say, hey, what's special about you guys? You're part of a family.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Raising Cane's Texas Toast is a thick slice of bread, garlic buttered spread, grilled to golden perfection, and made to order just.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. You know, when we talk about Relief Windows every day, I always say windows, doors, siding. And now shutters as well. They do your indoor shutters. Same thing as the windows. Custom made, measured to fit your windows, custom fit for your windows, lifetime warranty on your windows, your shutters. But Brandon, you often hear say their number one product is customer satisfaction. And that's not just a catchy line. That's not a cliche phrase. Have an experience with Relief Windows and you'll understand. They go to the ends of the earth to make sure their customers are thrilled with the work they do. As a matter of fact, Relief Windows never takes $1 from you. You will not, no deposit, no down payment. They take all the risk. They will not take $1 until you're thrilled with the work they do. Who else does that? Only Relief Windows. Check them out online at ReliefWindows.com.
Welcome back in after further review here on a Friday. Musso in for Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Earlier in the week, we were looking at the Saints' defensive line, specifically the interior, and kind of looking at how that rotation might shake out. And one guy we talked about that could provide a big boost was a guy returning from injury in Vernon Broughton. And that's someone you didn't have last season. And what could his addition back into the lineup mean for that position? Well, he's not the only guy on the Saints defense that applies to. Julian Blackmon is back for the New Orleans Saints here this year. And he could really shore up the Saints secondary, round it out, if you will, on the back end. Think about how much the safety position was in flux a year ago. And it really wasn't a bad unit for the New Orleans Saints a year ago, but it also wasn't playing up to its full potential because, well, you weren't at full strength. And you knew that was a risk when you signed Julian Blackmon. There was some moments throughout his career where there were injuries and there was an injury history, but he had really turned in a great 2024. Made a lot of sense to bring him on, veteran player, all of those things. He goes out there against the Arizona Cardinals week 1, plays an awesome game. Like, Julian Blackmon against the Cardinals a year ago played 66 snaps. He ended up with 7 total tackles, 4 of those solo. Like, he is great. He graded out at an 82.4 via Pro Football Focus in that one game. He was awesome. And you watched that one game and you were like, man, they really got something here in free agency that maybe nobody else saw. And that guy can be a leader on this defense. And then, like, the Monday after the game, it was announced that he was out for a season-ending injury. He played through it in the game. Didn't really know that it had happened until after. And you were without him for the rest of the year. And look, I'm not going to say that was the worst thing in the world. Obviously, you got to see a whole bunch of Jonas Sanker. He ended up almost playing 1,000 defensive snaps a year ago. He fell just short at 976 defensive snaps as a rookie. He played in all 17 games. Like, you got a great look at him, and he had some really nice moments where they're growing pains. Sure, he's a rookie in the NFL, but he had some really nice moments, and ultimately what that's done for him, getting that look, it's vaulted him into this role to replace Alontae Taylor. But now you reinsert Julian Blackmon into the lineup for the New Orleans Saints, and all of a sudden you've got what you wanted a year ago with Justin Reed and Blackmon back there, and now you can put Sanker in that Alontae Taylor role, and that looks a whole heck of a lot better than having to rotate in Jordan Howden and Terrell Burgess and the guys that you had to do that with a year ago. And it's not that they played poorly. I mean, they more than were able to hold their own there, but you just weren't at full strength. Now you will be. And Ross Jackson wrote up a piece today at LouisianaSports.net about the safety room, for New Orleans. And the thing he mentioned in there that I think can really change things is Julian Blackmon's ability to go get the football. Julian Blackmon was coming off 2 seasons in a row, 2 seasons Indiana, his final 2 years with the Colts. He had a combined 7 interceptions in those 2 seasons. The New Orleans Saints as a team a year ago had 10. He adds that dimension back into this secondary where they can really just, everybody else kind of pin their ears back, play aggressive, and you let Julian Blackmon go get the football when the opportunity presents itself. Turnovers lacked for this team a year ago. Having him back, that could potentially bring turnovers into the equation. Now, I'm not saying because Julian Blackmon's back, the New Orleans Saints are going to go out there and have like 20 interceptions this year. That's not what I'm saying. But I do think you see that number increase. And it's just it's another veteran presence, which you need on that defense. Losing DeMario Davis, you need as many veterans back there as you can get. It just not necessarily back there, but you know what I mean, on the defense. And you add Julian Blackmon back in. He's one of those guys. And that's maybe something I don't think we're talking about enough, is his reinsertion into the lineup now that he's healthy. Now, the second part of that is he's got to stay healthy. Julian Blackmon's been in the league 6 years. He has never played a full season. So, his rookie year in 2020, he played 15 games. So basically a full year. He fell 1 game short. But in 2021, he played 6. In 2022, 14. 2023, 15. 2024, 16. So back to closer. And then last year, of course, 1 game. But you've never gotten 17 games out of him so far in his NFL career. But if you can get 16, 15, like you saw the last 2 years in Indy with the production that he had, where you look at 88 tackles, 4 interceptions, 86 tackles, 3 interceptions, that has a chance to really, really, really make a difference on the New Orleans Saints defense. So file that away as they inch closer and closer to training camp. Still about 3, now I guess we're coming up on 2 weeks away now. Monday will be 2 weeks away from Saints training camp, them reporting, and of course their first practice will be on Wednesday, July the 29th. But just file that one away. That, like, when I look at the Saints defense, and I've been critical of them, and I will tell you I am concerned there, but it's the reinsertion of Vernon Broughton and Julian Blackmon that I think could make a pretty big difference, having those two guys back from injury, because, I mean, in Vernon Broughton's case, you've invested plenty there from a draft standpoint, and, I mean, Julian Blackmon, multi-year deal now in free agency with him, even after him missing all of last year. So, virtually all of last year. He played in one game, you know what I mean? But those two guys, you could look up at the end of this and be like, oh, yeah, that definitely did make a difference. We'll file that away and keep following it along as the Saints get closer to training camp. Without further review, here on a Friday, Musso in for Moscona. We are brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center.
Always a pleasure to tell you about our friends at the Williamson Eye Center. Check them out online at williamsoneye.com. They've got locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. On the Baton Rouge General Campus, I mean, you turn off a Bluebonnet onto Picardy, you make that right. And then right there at the stop sign, the building on the right, the first two floors, that's the Williamson Eye Center. State-of-the-art dry eye center, and it's full service. Of course, they have their state-of-the-art surgery center there where you can have your LASIK or whatever surgical procedure you're having. But they have your standard annual eye exam as well at the Williamson Eye Center. Learn more at williamsoneye.com. The thing I tell you every day is take the advice that I was given and change your life. To give yourself the gift of sight is absolutely incredible. If you're someone like me who spent your life with contacts or glasses, there is a way to be done with it forever. williamsoneye.com. Go see Dr. Blake Williamson for that free consultation. 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com for the Williamson Eye Center.
All right, we roll along here. One more segment to go on a Friday edition of AFR. We are brought to you, obviously, by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Musso in for Moscona. Hang with us. We close out the week on AFR next. Stick around.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Yes, hormone replacement therapy. Yes, NAD+. Yes, BPC 157. Yes, ED treatment. The bottom line is, gentlemen, I don't care how old you are. It's about how old you feel, and do you want to feel like you did when you were younger? Do you want to live a more vital life? Do you want to live a more energetic life, where you wake up in the morning, your feet hit the floor, and you're rip-roaring ready to go, where you're motivated to get in the gym, where you have a great libido, where you have great mindset, energy, mental clarity, memory, all that sort of stuff? It's possible. It's affordable. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help you do it. Hormone replacement therapy could be a giant part of that for you. NAD Plus can literally help your cellular optimization to make you younger at a cellular level. BPC 157, tremendous in helping in recovery. Learn more. yourgoodwood.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last, because championships are built on commitment, not just on the floor of the court, but your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
People think it's all about game day.
But the real work happens in the off season. Spring practices, early lifts, extra reps. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
So we can do what we do best. We trust the lake.
From championship athletes.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Tell you every day, better coverage for less money. And man, my friends over at Insurance Network of Louisiana are crushing it for Louisianians on their auto insurance right now. Listen, if you have not had anyone shop for your auto insurance lately, you got to call Insurance Network of Louisiana. My goodness. They got some top-rated companies, Geico, Progressive. They're doing awesome work right now. This was an amazing story that I heard. They wrote one last week, saved the client $2,911 annually. They had a high auto rate with State Farm. They smashed it with Geico. They had another one save $1,476 annually with Progressive. They had Allstate and switched. Y'all, I tell you all the time, if you're just auto-renewing your insurance, man, you're probably overpaying and you're underinsured. Let Insurance Network of Louisiana help. lainsurance.net.
All right, welcome back in. After further review, final segment here on a Friday edition of the show presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Getting set to send you off into your weekend. Weekend, I hope, is filled with good downtime. Hope you got maybe got a little event or whatnot to go to this weekend. Hope it's a great one if you do. And we're back here ready to talk with us on Monday when Scone is back in the chair. Boys, Luke, Paul, weekend plans, anything going on?
Nothing tonight, but I tell you what I will be doing tomorrow night.
All right.
I will be watching Conor McGregor's return in the Octagon.
That's true. Holloway and McGregor. Are you surprised he's coming back? I was a little surprised. Well, I say that. I mean, the payday's going to obviously always getting back. But that was tough last time. I mean.
Yeah. McGregor's been on his bender.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm excited. I think it might be a little bit of a grab.
Yeah.
Grab.
Holloway's going to destroy him.
Well, I mean, Conor hasn't fought since 2021.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to fight Michael Chandler 2 years ago. That never happened.
Yeah.
And they're like, you want to fight Max Holloway? He's like, sure.
Sure. Why not?
Why not?
You going to pay me? I'll go do it. I mean, yeah, that's where he is in his career now. It is, right? Yeah. I mean, he was awesome, had a great run. He's got the charisma. They always want to market him.
Yeah.
He's not going to say no to a payday.
No.
He's like, I'll let Max Holloway just beat me up and go collect the money at the gate. Because it's like you said, everyone's going to tune in because it's Conor McGregor.
Yeah. Yeah, it will get a ton of eyeballs. I mean, the first time Max and Conor fought was in 2013.
That's crazy that it was that long ago.
Yeah. I mean, Conor won by unanimous decision, but that was, prime McGregor.
Man, that's 13 years ago. That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't know it was that long ago. That's crazy. All right. The UFC 329 this weekend, is that what it is?
Yes. I believe that's right.
Yeah, I think so. Paul, anything happening?
I got no plans.
That's a good weekend right there, brother.
To relax and do nothing.
That's a good weekend right there.
We will probably end up at the movie theater. My daughter, there's a couple movies she wants to see. We still haven't seen Toy Story 5 because we were on vacation when it came out.
Yeah.
So we'll probably either do that or she wants to see the new Moana movie. So,
okay.
Dad life. Go and see Disney movies.
Hey, it's a good life, though, isn't it?
Toy Story 5 is on my radar.
Yeah, no, I need to see it.
Yeah.
I've seen the other four. I need to see Toy Story 5.
Especially our generation. It's a must-see.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
100%. 100%, man. Great movies. Great movies. We're about to get on down the road. Before we do, Hancock Whitney.
It is so easy for me to endorse Hancock Whitney Bank because I have literally been a Hancock Whitney client for as long as I've had a checking account. And one of the things that I love is their mobile app, and it's super easy to use. They actually just recently updated the app. It's basically your own financial center. I can log in with my facial ID, which is cool. It's basically my own financial center. I can track my checking and my savings accounts, obviously mobile check deposit, but I can also track things like my net worth, my spending. You can actually budget in the app as well. It's super easy to use. It's the Hancock Whitney mobile app. Just another reason why I love my bank, Hancock Whitney Bank, which, of course, is the official bank of the New Orleans Saints and of the LSU Tigers. And you can become a card-carrying fan with awesome Saints or LSU debit cards. I've had the Saints debit card for years. You can get yours. Start today by logging on to HancockWhitney.com/Matt. That's HancockWhitney.com/Matt. My name, HancockWhitney.com/Matt.
That's just about going to do it here for us here on a Thursday edition. Oh, no. It's going to do it for us on a Friday edition of AFR. Thank you to Phil Steele hopping on with us in the first hour. Sam Spiegelman, Chris Marler. They were fantastic. If you missed anything, AFR On Demand, presented by Brett Goff, YouTube, podcast. Matt is back on Monday. Be here at 3 o'clock for AFR.
AFR.
Summer is here, which means beach vacations, barbecues, backyard pool days, whatever you got going on. Make sure you celebrate with our friends at Rouse's, no matter what you're looking for. Meat or fish to throw on the grill. Maybe you want some cold drinks for the adults or the kids. Chips and dips and all the servings and sides. Rouse's is your spot with 76 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach and points in between. You're never far from a Rouse's location. And one of the things I love most is Rouse's always does their best to make sure they source local products. You want local Louisiana products and ingredients, you'll get them at Rouse's. Whether you're making groceries, a quick stop to pick up something for dinner, or a day at the pool, make sure you make Rouse's part of your summer every day. Find the Rouse's nearest you. You can shop the weekly ads online at rouses.com, rouses.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
Raising Cane's is raising $1 million on National Chicken Finger Day for Chuck's charity, Kickstart Kids. Join us July 27th and help us continue Chuck Norris's legacy.
Chuck was a personal friend of Todd and the brand, and I know this would have meant the world to him.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
I've been in banking for over 35 years. I usually start about 7:30 in the morning, and I usually leave somewhere around 5, or if customers need me to meet them at their house or their business places, I don't mind going after hours. I have done churches, subdivisions, retail centers, hospitals, and nursing homes. And that's why we chose to live in this community, because of the values First American Bank has, that I can serve my community and my customers.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinecenterla.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.